jual monitor nih.
Berapa? 500?
Pala otak kau 165.500 anjing.
Kalau dapat beli, Cuk. Daripada gak kepake.
Buat nambah PC aja lah nanti. Gak tadi jual. Kau nawar gak ngotak anjing.
Ya.
Ya udah sini Ryzen 7 500 paket sama PC-nya.
Tuh kan katanya Ryzen doang. Kalau iya mau ku ini nih. Mau ku 500 nih.
Aku udah ada Ryzen 7 tuh buat apa lagi?
Nah, makanya itu.
Ku gandeng sama 1660 Super.
1.200 atau 2.700 P?
1.700.
Kemarin ada yang jual ke 700.
Udah hancur sekarang harganya karena generasi baru udah keluar.
Makanya itu aku cari 2.700 aja.
Aku aja sampai upgrade ke Gen 12 aku.
Ya,
Baru satu. Cuman i5 Gen 9 ku laku sini, Riz. Sama 1660 Super VGA-nya. Lumayan lah dapat 280-250 lah FPS-nya Valorant.
Ih, berapa?
i5 Gen 9 9400F. Sanding sama 1660 Super dapat 250-an, 250 ke atas. Valo. Apa? Apa Bang Alvin?
Ini udah pasti something-nya jet sih.
Iya.
Kalau enggak sih pasti ngetrol anjing.
Iya sama kayak kau ngetrol kan?
Iyalah.
PP.
Apa anjing?
Enak aja ya Bang Al bilang dia. PP.
Valo kita.
Tadi dulu.
PP.
Udah kalah RRQ tuh. PRX menang.
Iya emang, tapi kan kita mau lihat ya namanya Silver mau lihat orang main. Ya.
Riz.
PP.
Kontol kau Riz.
PP.
Aku anak CRL ini cuman awan doang yang ketemu di Jakarta bangsat. Sama Ocin. Sama Ocin Bang Ojan.
Duduk enggak ya?
Dodo nggak mau dia anjing tuh katanya jauh awan aja yang jauh nyamperin aku dia.
Oh, Jakarta mana sih, P?
Bekasi.
Bekasinya mana?
Dia Bekasi yang ikut bosnya yang nilapin mobil.
DK reset. Jati Asi.
Masih jauh, daerah rawan.
Ya, Jati Asi.
Aku jadi sama Dodo loh, Cuk.
Ya, Dodo dekat. Ocin juga dekat.
Iya, Dodo Ocin itu kan emang satu ini.
Iya.
Satu kamar.
Cuman Dodo anjing ini banyak pula gaya. Jauh P, males aku. Awan aja yang lebih jauh daripada lu datang gitu. Temu sama Bang Ojan, anjing tua-tua nih. Masih juga gangguin cewek bangsat.
Iya, Bang Ocin
Udah PNS dia sekarang.
Hah? Bukannya udah dari lama ya?
Belum dulu honorer ya. Ditraktir Ojan aku.
Udah pastilah kalau di sana mah.
Ada yang waktu itu siapa? Yang main di warnet itu Riz siapa waktu itu rombongan siapa?
Tile.
Bang Put ya.
Oh.
Aku nggak ikut itu. Jauh banget warnetnya anjing.
Ya, bawa aja orang yang cowok datang, Cuk.
Naik Grab setengah jam, Cok. Udah aku lihat ongkos Grabnya nggak ngotak di sana.
Ya kau bawa mobil lah, Cuk. Bawa kendaraan dikareset lah. Gimana sih?
PP.
Ya aku kan hafal kali jalan Jakarta tuh anjing.
Lihat Cuk ini Cuk. Dia kaget mati monyet anjing.
Udah gua nggak ngeliat lagi.
Dia depanmu 5 orang anjing gimana?
Perek nih, aimnya gila-gila anjing.
Oh, ngambil defend duluan dia. Tapi udah ngeplan ya anjing.
Iya udah ngeplan.
Jalan 3. Oke. Oh, mak.
Walah jing.
This pistol round so far. Yeah, on the board, nice and early. Good round to come out from RRQ. A much needed round to shake off any worries from the previous map as well that Ewok is probably already mentioned to
Turunnya
them in
kalah.
the
Apa
break.
Martin?
Best of 5, you've got
Sehat,
depth.
Pe.
Losing a map
Sehat
here or
nih.
there. You can
Sehat
have some
nih.
recovery as well for a map like Split, where we've not seen stability actually from RRQ on this one either, right? Both times we've seen them play it throughout the course of this stage. They've changed up their agents, albeit small, right? An Astra and an Omen switch up this time, a little bit more drastic. But picking up the pistol round on Paper X's option to just stay together as a team in mid
Enak main
first.
gitu. Nggak usah pakai
That's not how you want to
sentinel.
see a battle against a Boombot go, by the way.
Well, looking for the share shots instead. Unfortunately, he's going to find
Gak usah pakai
Zilch.
sentinel tapi kan kita
Paper X
dia kan
then to
ini.
try to hover around the sites, but
Covernya
everything's been
enak,
smoked
Bang.
off, of
Saya
course.
juga enak.
Yeah, just running on this
Oh,
double
lihat
door
tuh,
as well
masuk ke
for RRQ. You
ngeriteknya
really want
nggak
to see them get
satu-satu
down
tuh.
dirty in the
Kalau
battles,
kita mah
right? You
udah
really want to see them go
dari
for the
kita
good old
maju
fights,
itu.
which is what Paper X could potentially do at the moment.
Yeah, the double duelist. Well, not in this round currently.
It's more so that you've got the pistols on Paper X's side. You can just throw caution to the wind a little bit and see what you can find.
Scrappy. But that said, RQ recognizing the situation as well. They've got these guns. They need to hold on to them. Monyet playing around backside alongside Jemkin. That will be a huge crossfire if Paper X does decide to walk into it. They're taking their time currently, which might mean they're down to the last few seconds of the round.
Yeah, exit kills the name of the game at the moment for Paper X. See if
Kalau
you can get
turnamen
any
gini ada
extra
yang
ultimate
save
orbs,
yang
maybe
save
on
uang
Jing,
ya.
for example, but you don't want to give any more to Mon yet. He's trading guns with teammate to make sure the primary rifle will continue over to the next round. With death, he will collect another ulti orb for the showstopper, but in the grand scheme of things, this was the expectation of the round with RRQ finding the pistol, now doubling down.
That gives you, or gives Paper X, some slight ideas as well. RQ having opted to go for the garage space, garage fights instead.
Great
Paper
lab.
X, they've been doing a decent job of picking up the ult over around A main.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be back to the learning curve as well for Paper X on a map like Split, right?
With a comp like this as well.
Only seeing them play it once against Global Esports in this stage. You throw it on further back as well to kick off once against T1, where they get a close loss, 13-11. A more similar style of play, you would say, just having the Sky and a double duelist there. Fresh round though, guns on the board for Paper X, an opening battle one against Monyet. And a change of look now for RRQ, losing control of A. So let's spread up mid. Let's go towards B main. See if we can win some 2-on-1s and maybe get towards the site.
Oh my god. I was going to say, Sky's going to do a decent job, but this time it's Forsaken doing well as well.
Masih
Well,
ngekas di
Side
situ.
kill. And just like what we saw in Fracture, RQ kind of lost the plot.
PD buat dia.
That's just the bonus round.
Tuh, crosshair pas
These happen.
salah.
You lose the first duel. You run into an angle. You just can't win the duel.
Wea bang,
10
suruh shoot,
players.
suruh tembak.
Suruh
Very
ngeklik ya.
sharp.
Ngeklik
Masuk
ya.
Discordnya.
In this little game we call Valorant. But right now, the Spike is in firm control of Paper X.
Masuk Discordnya,
It's the
Bang.
controllers of RRQ to see what damage they can get back in return here.
I guess 2v5
Fuck.
going in for the dry peaked duels
Ugh.
inside Garage, and Paper X just does not let them find any breathing room whatsoever.
Yep, flawless round to come through from Paper X in that one. This is the big old battle, though, that we do wait for, right? RRQ to get the guns back in possession, getting closer to a couple of these ultimate orbs. It does feel like at the moment, you know, it's going to be opening duels that are extremely important when you consider the, 14-1 in the previous map. So it feels like little by little RRQ need to
Tabunya lagi.
just get 1 foot in front of the other, right? Find an opening
Tabunya lagi
duel,
di Azura
bring them
katanya ya.
together, go in with a good game plan.
Ntar malam. Kalau
Currently,
main.
it's a more stacking side of
Angin
Paper
nih,
X
nih,
towards
pelut
B
nih.
and mid, you could say as well. Patman, lone
Nah,
soldier
gitu kan
at A.
Dipas enak tapi nggak ada flash tuh dia masuk polos aja.
Into defensive position as well. He was out of that range of the paranoia being sent over, so
Yeah.
really good idea. And look at the awareness to play inside the smoke as well.
Yeah, choosing not to just pop flash himself though, waiting for a team to rotate over. This is just a complete sight control now given towards RRQ. You're not running the fade, for example, so there's going to be no stuns or anything like that to entrap with the paint shells.
Spike planted.
And also paint shells from Jing as well. This flush
Voila.
plant in towards the corner of the site, where then Paper X has a really good idea of where RQ are positioned, except for Xfero, who might be able to find a couple more kills, but chooses to stay undetected instead. And at that point, numbers all down around him. It's just Crazy Guy left.
Ayo
You
lo.
can't do this one, unfortunately, mate, so
Ayo lo.
just going to have to call the audible on this one. Maybe be a flaw flawless round to come through from Paper X because they aren't going for the hunt over main. They got to protect their own economy too. What a retake to come through from them though. Something catching a shot out through the screens. And then Jing having a crossfire from the heavens as well, just choosing to send it on the raise, right? Not being scared whatsoever, even being seized, but it doesn't matter because Kushi's blinded up by the paranoia of Forsaken. You know, when we consider the Joman or the Foeman from Jing and Forsaken, they are certainly adapting. I think that's a really good word to use here for Paper X throughout this stage. Adaptations and learning. RRQ, though, coming out with a bit of a force buy in this round. A lot of stingers to back up a Vandal of Jemkin. Oh, you got a Showstopper as well. If that Prowler found anything, you'd expect that to be ripped immediately. But just by the positions, by the way, of Paper X, they should be able to dodge the ultimate. Unfortunately, though, for Forsaken, you can't dodge that one.
And slight face check, but you do have Jing with a big old rocket. That said, he has missed several of those yesterday as well. And in a 3v5, you might not be able to find that opportunity. However, Defy just straight down from hell, he finds 4 kills! Being able to rip all those numbers away from RQ, it's just Monyet left, but he's managed to blow things up!
Shrapnel gets him at the end of the day. The Showstopper explosion spreads a bit more when you got 30-something HP for Devi. That's not enough to get the job done, it seems, in the end. Trying to dig his team out of an awkward situation. But in this one, right, a 5 versus 3 scenario for RRQ. Bring a little bit of stability on the site when the plane goes down. That's just crazy. Getting the shots out there from him.
And that's just a beautiful round being helmed by Monyet as well.
Yeah,
the past Raze player when Jing had to step out for a moment.
This is what we're expecting though, in this battle, right, in this matchup. Duels going both ways. This time though, scouting out the opposition positions, dimensional drift into the site. Forsaken dispatches of Monyet off yonder though. Oh, the time! That one's a bit rough.
Unfortunate kills, however that will be the spike then a little bit closer towards the B site.
But overlooking Devi, that's a problem at the moment. Spike is down. Imagine a world in which he just decided to rip the pit, but he's going to fall back. Play to the numbers with the team.
A rocky assumption and thinking that the rotations might have been pulled over, but we'll see if Jemkin is able to craft anything out. That said, though, straight in with Cushy, and he's been robbed.
And you're not in the scenario, too, for Crazy Guy to, from the shadows, to get the spike with Jemkin finding complete control of the A side. It's kind of null and void at the moment. You want to go for a plant? Well, you're going to have to try and do that in a pit. And you're going to catch some decay. So this round feels a little bit more difficult for RRQ now. Paper X looking to tie it up.
40 long seconds.
Although, if Patman gives him a duel, he wins that one. Start to cook a little bit.
Turn around, get a spray transfer onto Defy. It's possible. It's taking his time though, and Paper X,
the full decay.
Yeah, holding on to their leashes. They wait for this. They're playing as a team. Crazy Guy being able to avoid the bullets for now.
He technically only has one angle he needs to spray, but pit down, vision on him.
The hood's been spotted. Tries to play around the smokes.
Able to read the situation that
Paper Rex are looking to play as a team. When you have something on the jet, he's just going to dive in with a shorty.
Yeah, the 3 versus 1 in the entirety is just going to be a difficult thing for him to stave off and win. So Paper X doing it together, right? Nobody going too far forward to give an opportunity to Crazy Guy to come out with that one. 3 versus 3 on the scoreline now as well. The scenario where we, you know, see timeouts earlier on, right? In the last map, when you consider at this point in time, it was 5-1 by round number 6. So
banyak yang pakai resolusi 1024 juga ya.
Coach intervention needed. Happy by the fact that you know, they're gonna potentially have something to do in this round, anyways, right? Light investments for RRQ. Make sure you hold enough for the next rounds. Go all together as a team towards this A site.
Went in for the execute as well. He crashed in towards a corner.
Oh, Patman spotted.
Angles marked, but yes, he's got the pop flash to try to attempt at a duel. That said, Monyet quickly dispatches of him. Yeah. Something then Engel completely blocked off. He still tries to go in for the flick though. Ooh, narrowly dodging until Monyet denies that opportunity. 3v5 at this point.
Pit, good time to use it actually.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Maybe. We'll see. There is a showstopper for Jing.
Straight into the pit.
Yeah, be risky for sure. This is what I'm talking about though, right? You have a bit of a light investment as RRQ, making sure that you can try and get something to work. You've pathed correctly into Patman on the site. Good TP from Jemkin to get in there. Devi's looking for some bit of damage at the moment, but you just feel like the spike is ticked away too far already.
Yeah. Oh, second kill going through. You got RQ members up by Heaven as well, but even then, the time continues to tick away. Crazy Guy will just collect onto another kill, Jemkin as well, and the round, of course, ultimately goes over to RQ.
Yeah, but it's a thrifty. That's really important for RRQ here as well. Already knowing that they'd have a buy in the next round is just better that they've got another round on at the tally to back this one up. Single duel against Patman, a awkward encounter for something as well, just falling out of the rafters. Tries to updraft back into it, doesn't work out. Bit of a rough one for PaperX, though they themselves should have a bit of an investment coming in towards this next round as well, see if they can challenge back.
Should be. But it is a fair and very tense fight right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I think everybody should have been expecting coming in towards this series, right? Really great duels, a lot of backwards and forwards action. Bit of a mid-prowl from PaperX at the moment, though. Meanwhile, RRQ finding successes towards the Alpha site, going back there, forcing PaperX out of it to just have free territory again.
Different flight path as well, Komodo, and that means Patman needing to play a much different position for then Jemkin to possibly set up a huge flank. Currently undiscovered. Not hit by the Nightfall as well, and it just gives him a bit more timing and space to then push in alongside his teammate, Cushy. PaperX, though, avoids the angles until Jing tries to fight back in. He gets denied, and it's just PaperX with 2 left. Something he's noted at least one position, but he cannot go in for the chase. And meanwhile, the spike just continues to beep off.
Yeah.
Crazy Guy springs back up, and it's just Patman left.
Zing.
Peeked out once again. A decent dink.
But that's it, isn't it? Another successful A encounter for RRQ. Blades going awkward for something. Feels like PaperX's game plan to relinquish control of this A site is starting to get the better of them. So maybe we do see a bit of an adjustment for them on the back of that round there. Have a bit more numbers, but this is where we talk about conditioning your opponents as well, right? If you're going A successfully, start to change up your own approach for a mid-B split potentially for RRQ. Though feels like in this sort of time, Alex is gonna have to come out with a timeout.
That's the first time I've heard that one.
PaperX's timeout, as expected though, to come in towards this round.
I mean, you're gonna have to pull out something truly cerebral to be able to get a read for that. I mean, an execute with Monyet flying up over to the top of Heaven.
Kalau pas lagi tiamat begini,
and also
boleh
for Jemkin
digerak-gerakin nggak
to
sih?
be able to sneak all the way back into screens
Setahu gue.
just for that
Iya.
Nightfall to get
Nggak boleh
sent
setup,
through. I
nggak boleh
mean,
apa.
It's this
Kayaknya.
aggression we were missing from last map from RRQ, right?
That's true.
Going together as a team,
Ya kayak
having a
cuma
more
sekedar
layered approach with
lompat-lompat
the
atau
beginning
apa.
utilities.
but
Tapi
for
rata-rata
not a
dia
single
ngeliatnya juga
member of the
diem semua.
PaperX squad to be able to anticipate this play, I guess that's why Alex feels a little bit perturbed.
You got to
By the
remember
current
as well, Split is not generally a map that PaperX opts to play.
Which
right?
is why this is a bit of a question mark pick, Komodo.
Best of 5, you made it to Toronto.
You gotta feel it out, and why not leave your best maps for the last?
Get some extra reps on it as well for a map that will be in that next tourney. Fracture, I salute you. Be gone.
I say that, I laugh with tears in my eyes. That's it though, RQ of course, a much better showing right now.
This is what I'm talking about earlier though. PaperX having to change things up, get some more bodies towards the A site, but it's the conditioning factor of RRQ where they can have a bit of a different approach as well. Very silent up through mid.
Oh, but everyone's in the spot somehow. The showstopper just doesn't quite blow anything up. Jing, then again, spin down in the corner for Forsaken to try to hold up by Raptors. RQ, though, they still have their options, and it's going to be the current TP into back sight. Forsaken's attention being pulled away. He has to try to hold the angle. He spotted out Jemkin. He finds the first duel. However, a flash gets sent over. He tries to find some acrobatics into the smoke, but gets denied. they expect something on the flank already? Look at him. He's here super early. And he's still sneaking his way up, skulking his way forward. A first, a second kill, something clutches up for Paper Rex.
And this is the other side of the coin that Paper Rex see. When they have numbers over at the A site, they push something in towards main. He gets all the information and the read that, well, nobody's home. We're seeing some duels in mid. We're seeing a whiffage of the showstopper. Let's get a quick flank happening. And he was there super early to come out with the Red Bull clutch for Paper Rex to hit back.
That's just quick reaction from the entire team. Sure, you know, the initial contact might have gone completely south for some reason with that showstopper, but hey.
Yeah, it was a 2 versus 4 as well. So they've really managed to pull that one back by isolating a couple of great angles in the end.
Both Something and Forsaken putting up those performances.
Yeah, well,
similar approach in this round.
High-low setup though over at this B site.
Something that RQ hasn't contended with before. And Forsaken will come out on top of the duels. Devi as well eliminating Jemkin, but RQ does not let up. Forsaken then trying to play around the pillars, but yes, completely exposed thanks to that haunt.
Bit of utility for a retake here. No smokes for Paper Rex though. Seekers invested.
Which would give them some urgency into the site. Shot down for now. Something with 2 kills around the pillar. He props the tailwind, but Cushy ends his life.
Scrappy battles. Do love to see them. Opening frag in the way of Paper X, but immediate retaliation from RRQ. A lot of bits of utility as well, just off-put the Paper X members. Have a great haunt at the end there. Makes Forsaken sweat a little. There's Devi caught in the open as well. These are the moments where you just need to see these players have some really good self-adjustments in the round as well. How are you going to be able to win a couple of these duels? How are you going to be able to favor things for your team? Sometimes it is out of your hands though, and you just need to hit your shots with your crosshair.
A lot of pressure. But that said, that would be RRQ playing things extremely well with the micro adjustments. Haunt towards the side, it completely flushes, or makes, well, Forsaken flush full in his face. Round 11, and right now it's the same execute. Paper X possibly a retake without the best weaponry. Devi though, decent trade for now.
Yeah, numbers are here. Spike not yet needing to be established. Spike dropped on the floor. Paper X looking to flood towards the side. The shots from Jemkin though, superb.
Taps forward again and again, and he knows that Jing is pinned down. A possible ace in our hands. 7 rounds left in the mag. Something though, still looking for the fights against the counterpart Russian across the other side. He finds yet another kill.
And how do you play this as Jemkin? You've got every single piece of your ability right now.
Has to go for the spike plant. Something then taking elevation
sampai menang
for
sih.
the best possible angle.
Mental
Jemkin
sih
has to be aware
satunya,
of this. He has to work around the pillars. Spots him out, and that's gonna be the ace. Jemkin, all the way back then from when he was on Scars against Sengoku, and he still comes out on top of Something.
Hey, he gets the better of him in this one, but at what cost, right? It's an anti-eco. They came into it with pistols and a Guardian. So the fact that they stack towards the A site, Devi gets a good read that they are coming towards B. Let's just full rotate on over, and Something comes out with some absolute sinister shots of the Guardian. I mean, it's a winnable scenario at the end. Jemkin 20 HP, Something 30, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure the shots sting a little bit, but considering how the entire half has played out, Komodo, RQ are happy to take that little bit of damage. They're able to buy back up again. Viper's pit up towards middle now.
Information that he's in the vent as well, so you don't even need a contender. You're through it. Forsaken none the wiser.
Snuck past, and with Forsaken gone, that makes the B side that much more open.
Space that Jemkin's taking as well. With the clone, play distractor. Meanwhile, in the back lanes, he can fight and then meet up with the team. This is going swimmingly for RRQ.
Yeah, Xfero just blocking every single letter up by mailroom. Something, though, able to sneak up from stairs, so possibly another round with elevation going forward. The blades have been drawn, but Jing has been silenced. 1v4 and Something just goes in for the Hail Mary jump. Jemkin will pick the round up and push RRQ to an 8-4.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of hit and miss from Jemkin on this Yoru when it comes towards this map specifically as well, but this time it looks like the hit is here. Great amount of shots, great amount of multi-frags to come through. It just feels like the game plan of RRQ on this attacking side. you're really forcing out a lot of information needed from Paper X to get an idea where you want it to go, right? If it's a quick one out from RRQ on that attacking side, well, they're almost playing retake 9 times out of 10. You're seeing duels go each way. You're seeing scrap battles be won by RRQ this time as opposed to last map. Oh, this is a tough one.
I mean, currently you go with Jemkin, I guess, just because he's been the primary duelist most of the time.
Yeah, Monyet has kind of sent himself into oblivion a couple of years too, so...
Especially from that previous map. Come on, you can't really fault him. Sometimes he's on the smokes.
Yeah, this is true. Got a lot of players who love our...
Who came up with this? Who is the real man? Oh my god, production sometimes cracks me up. You got a guy, you got a man, but it's Patrick Mendoza.
Yeah, unlike Patrick who. It's not even his name. Not even his name. Halftime break though. Throw that one away. We're going to have to get to a switch up of the sides as well to see if we'll tie up this series 1-1. Get a fourth map in Icebox. That one's a little bit interesting to come out in towards this Vito as well.
But certainly RQ keeping things interesting with a strong first half showing. Now swapping over onto the defense, where you get to see, you know, Crazy Guy maybe show off his chops a little bit.
Well, you get to see the pistol round kings at the moment in Paper X, leading very handsomely with those. RRQ already gathering a lot of information at the A site with the Prowler that no one's going to be at least in close proximity. As Paper X play a little bit more silently towards the B side of things, seeing no over investments from RRQ, no one going by themselves. Refreshing Omen utility as well.
However, it does bring out the Trailblazer.
Yep, spot out a bit of information, a little bit of a forward position now for Paper X, getting pretty close towards a B-pop.
Right? As soon as that Trailblazer goes through, clears out backside, the rest of the team pushing up from mailroom, and you do have Crazy Guy who's kind of given up the site. Yeah,
you recognize that when the Trailblazer's there that you have to just play in towards a retake.
Yeah, that's why he's saving up that paranoia as well. Props it up right now in this moment. The entire team surrounding him.
Zero utility for Paper X here.
Yeah, it's going to be just a full gunfight, if anything. RQ having the resources.
Where do you want your smokers Forsaken? Towards CT.
Trying to position around for it currently. Inside the smoke though, and it's just Paper X finding first contact. Petman and something out from heaven as well. The only one left then is Cushy.
Halo.
Sort of
Halo.
not yet spotted, but as soon as you make a single peep, the entire force of Paper X will turn their crosshairs and sights towards you. That will be the pistol picked up by Paper X.
Nuts shots to come out of Crazy Guy with the classic as well. Sin CT jumping around, right-clicking. Taking some heads, but Paper X, they will take a second pistol of this map. I do like the forward play that they opt to go for as well. Yeah, that right-click jump is a little bit crazy. Pistol round will keep things in good contest here for Paper X, struggling a little bit at the tail end of their defensive side. This is a bit of a lighter buy coming in towards the bonus though for this map. A couple of pistols, a couple of Spectres, and a Marshall for something.
Not a single rifle except for, well, if you consider the Marshall, but still, RRQ currently able to read this map. They've gone for the 4-1 stack closer towards the A site.
Ditungguin. Tapi emang bener sih,
let's follow the leader of the Trailblazer into the B site, where it's just going to be Crazy Guy here himself yet again.
And if he plays close, he might be able to find some right clicks, but with the angles exposed, Jing will quickly deal with him.
And now you know that no one else is here, so it's just going to be this little pistol retake. See if RRQ even just do what Paper X did and go up with the spike eventually. Makes sense.
It's a full best of 5, it's lower finals. I get why you need to play to every advantage that you can possibly find, so not wanting to give too much up to Paper X, but that said, it's a little bit quiet right now.
Yeah, you get the idea of what RRQ are doing. You just want to figure out where they're sitting, which is in spawn.
Come on, give us a kill. Give us a corpse.
Something will happen.
There we go. You got paint shells, you got a seize!
Love that.
And that's not too bad in terms of economical damage. A little bit more going through, and it's just Forsaken left. He's up by heaven. I know the spike is still going to go off, but ults and points being found by RQ.
And the fact that it's Forsaken surviving at the end here as well, one of the players that went in with the pistol, means you're only taking a ghost in towards your bonus rounds. Though, on the other side, you did save a lot more coming into that second round, right? So you do afford yourselves some rifles now going into this bonus round, so...
Very awkward. Not a true Red Bull clutch.
Yeah. It's one of those weird ones. But here we go. This is a bonus round, by the way, when you've got an operator in the hand for something. You've got a... Well, it was going to be a Spectre for Patman, but he does upgrade in the end. So, let's call this a rifle round. There's a heavy investment. And it's unexpected. Brilliant shot out from something. Xfero, that's going to cause a headache.
Just never expect it, even if you're going for the jiggle. Somehow, something with a punish. And that means you got to place a player around mid just to watch.
It was the judge as well. So that's gone down. Can't play close with that one. Meanwhile, Crazy Guy, he wants to play close. He wants to play down and dirty. Don't touch that orb and give him the info. Now you're stuck. Shroud, step out.
Let's go in for it. A little bit more initiative found by Paper Rex off of that. Thankfully able to get Crash away.
Yeah, thankfully indeed, but you've kind of left Crazy Guy by himself
Udah
here.
mau habis itu
Precisely.
sebenarnya.
You've made things extremely awkward for
Udah
him.
mau habis.
No angles to be found around the B side. It's just Crazy Guy who had to
Betul
spend
nggak
the
sih?
utility just to get out of dodge.
Yep.
Once again, another scenario where RQ left without resources.
Look
Just
to establish
angles, though.
a plant in the 5 versus 4.
Safer plant for Paper Rex, so not leaving themselves exposed towards spawn. You do have Jing kind of concealing his movements down towards the bottom as well. Something then peeking out from Garage. All of RQ trying to look for that space into sight, but Paper Rex just not giving anything up to them.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I know it's the bonus technically in the grand scheme of things, but I don't want to put the tag on it because it's not really a bonus round. It's a idea from Paper Rex that they go lesser equipped into the second round of this half to then get out the full great buy FBX style. And they do. The operator was very pivotal in this round from something to catch Xfero off guard, to find Cushy. Letting the team, Yellowman around the site when they've got control of it as well. It's not too many angles that they need to worry about when that plant's down.
It works though. I mean, it's a little bit risky, but now you have them with an op, and that's something that RQ is going to have to continually respect. That's why you got more players up around mid this time.
Or try and disrespect if you want to play close line with a judge, for example, as Xfero, but it doesn't feel like there's going to be any jewels that'll come his way at the moment, because yet again, it's going to go to Crazy Guy.
Yep, and that's exactly what Paper Rex wants to do, trying to exploit this weakness. Magneto quick on the reactions out to a toss, but then still for Paper Rex to find the shots with the rifles.
Again, in these big battles where you've just got many bodies flooding, Paper Rex are coming out on top.
Spike planted.
Site controlled. Trailblazer into the kill as well, and it's just Jemkin drastically attempting at anything, but still the score has been tied up.
Yeah, 8-8, 4 rounds in a row. Is this the awakening though for RRQ that they start to have an idea on how Paper Rex are playing this attacking side as well, or do they need some coach investment, right? Do we need to have a bit of a discussion on that regard? Didn't work out too much over on map number 1 of Frackshot.
Map attacker berarti, Bang.
Feels like we do need the timeout though. Was waiting to see if that was going to come through.
Started off 8-4, and now Paper Rex have found 4 straight rounds in a row. That op still proving to be a menace, even though it's only been online for 2 rounds.
Yeah, how are you going to remove that one, right? You need a little bit more of an investment of utility real early on when you consider that RRQ, you know, they've got the fade for the info, they can rumor as well. Otherwise, you're trying to see what Jemkin can do on this horror. Maybe you are trying to get a little bit aggressive, right? We haven't really seen the deep paranoia play come out from them to send it with the duelists. There's a couple of options that you can come out here and there to try and catch Paper Rex off guard.
It's definitely going to be quite the conundrum. You place more players towards mid, and you leave the rest of the sites a little bit more open for Paper Rex to possibly, well, launch an expedition around. That said, though, keeping my eyes on the minimap right now, Komodo, it's back towards more of a default-ish setup. And it's also something in with an operator of his own. He is playing around to the A side as well, so we might have another something v Jemkin moment.
Yeah, we might just have a really cool off battle in the round, which...
Barrel. Get him in the hands. Wow! I can't believe that hitbox works.
Yeah, sometimes it beat. Just a little
Wasn't even a slight tag.
blown off the body. But you'll take that as a kill. We needed an advantage for RRQ, right? They needed to find a good opener here on this defensive side. They are challenged towards this A site where, again, it's Jemkin with the operator.
Sniper Overwatch just works wonders for RRQ, but not for the third time. Third time's a charm for Paper X, who are moving forward in, especially with Seekers, just flushing RRQ away. Looking for a spike plant, though.
Yeah, you got to find some timing to have a little bit of stability, have a breath at the moment. Devi still has the poison orb as well as a snake bite, but he's finding some timing.
Yeah, might be able to sneak through. Petman, though, no more flashes, which means he's going to be kind of pinned down close to the site. Still, though, concealing their movements, making things as silent as possible. RQ thinking to play safe instead.
The timing on yet, he's found it perfectly against
Bukan dia
Devi.
dari tali.
Beautiful movement. Just at the right time. Devi would have no idea. Even though the spike is down now, how do you isolate every single duel? The first swing from Monyet, and it just fully catches Petman off guard.
Conversion after the timeout for RRQ, regaining the lead. More importantly, getting the first round on their defensive side. Courtesy of some heavy lifting of the operator for Jemkin. So you'll take that as a prize into the next round as well. You really want to make sure that you can have that in his hands as much as possible, it feels like, when it comes onto this map. Difference that the round could have came out with as well. If he potentially found him when he was going down the vent instead of trying to sneak in towards heaven. Maybe if they planted a little bit earlier, but you throw that round away. There's another investment for Paper X. Everybody lining up for an A-site endeavor, where once again, early engagements may very well go Jemkin's way with the operator.
Yeah, different line being held as well. Paper X would be none the wiser. However, something might have an inkling, dashes right forward alongside that showstopper as well. Jing looking to find effect with it, and he will collapse onto Arctic Sparrow. This allows him to then continue holding heaven.
Yeah, they had no idea that he was resatcheling up in towards the rafters there.
That's the thing about attack side on split. RQ, they're going to have to go in for a bit of a guessing game. Jemkin, though, will eliminate those guesses into more informed decisions with the dimensional drift, but Devi just denies all of that outright. Something with the double kill to end out the round as well. It's 9-9 tied up once again.
Yeah, awkward flash coming through for RRQ at the end there when the dimensional drift is trying to scope things out. Jemkin trying to tell the team where everybody is, trying to get some body blocking at the back of the side as well, but it just doesn't work out. Monyet completely blinded. And then you've got so many angles just being held by Paper X at the end there. Flawless round to come through from them. Really not allowing any further round accumulation to come through from RRQ. You know, that's something that got the better of them extremely so on Fracture too, right? Just one isolated round here and there. This time, they've been starting to find their footing. Ooh. And that's just going to be a scared little Monyet running back towards the site. The shorty at that range, yeah, it's not going to do too much.
Decent info, though. And you got two smokes all being baited out right now.
But not finding anything further towards A main to see if anyone had started to scale up either.
Yeah, still someone needing to play safe. And that flash will just confirm that there's a possible other shotgun hiding within close range around Mail.
Definitely an angle for Jemkin here to try and find one or two and then get out. Meet with Cushy.
I mean, this truly is just Paper X continuing to dot their T's, dot their I's and cross their T's until Jemkin will just scratch that one right off the margin.
Yeah, something. Down for the count. There was the one from Jemkin that I was talking about. Now you're looking for a bit of a plant as Paper X.
And possibly for RQ to find close range with the right clicks as well. It's just going to be Jemkin with a share for now, though, and it's working pretty decently.
Eventually a flank from Monyet, but the shorty. Need to see the lion's share done by Jemkin.
Paint shells, blast packs still could be good. Jing might not have an idea. He will dispatch off the first, though, and looks for the movement into its ramps. That's where Monyet picks up the Vandal. Into the site they go. RRQ has a great chance because Patman's been fully blinded. Still good for one, but it's just Defi left. Tries to go for the spray transfer, but it's not found. Xfero with the classic up close.
Got to potentially even use the judge at the end there with how close it was, but it doesn't really matter. RRQ do get the thrifty on the board. Flank eventually coming out from Monyet, picking up the weapon of something that was dropped earlier on, courtesy of Jemkin. So even with the pistols, you know, if you're getting your one, getting out, giving your team an opportunity to play by the numbers, play by the angles, can certainly work a treat, but you really feel like Jemkin just had to hit the shots in there, had to buy some time, give the team the opportunity, with up or not. Rest of the team following in pursuit as well. Backwards and forwards engagements, operator back in the hands of Jemkin. See if he'll have another opening duel, poised at the ramp. Cushy down below. He's done it again, hasn't he?
Key tool for RRQ right now. Paper X, though, not backing down. It's something straight in with the shorty once again. Just quickly dispatched of. Then, of course, you got the rest of the team trying to work around Elbow. Jemkin still in position, cushy up from the backside, but suddenly silenced. Forsaken and Patman marking these angles. Monyet, though, surely you don't expect another. Tries to blast back them away, but doesn't quite work out. Off to the judge, out from ropes, and you have some slight resets.
Seekers from Patman off the plant, gonna choose to invest them here.
That gives some further information. You know that one is up by ramp. Where could the other be?
Crossfire na
It's
ni
a little
Angie
bit
ni.
obvious as well. But with the smokes coming up, another duel being isolated, and Forsaken just spin back around on a dime to find an every kill.
Backwards and forwards in the rounds at the moment. No one able to find some footing for consecutive rounds, but maybe we'll change things up here. As we get another Thrifty coming on through.
Iya sih.
There's going to be some light investments from RRQ around the elbow there as well. A lot of bullying with the utility to try and stay alive, to try and foster an advantage. Just doesn't work out for Mon yet, and no trade ability either to come through from the controllers of RRQ at the end there. A little bit disconnected, trying to find the duels. Trying to isolate the angles, trying to figure out who's where. 10 to 10. As I said, a bit of a lighter investment from RRQ coming in towards this round. You've got the Nightfall, you've got the Pit. If Paper X take things real slow, you could choose to use them. But if Paper X decide to just go in towards the A site, there would be nobody to stop them.
Hey, why not? If there's no one here to welcome them, they've been having that much success on this site.
Yeah, you just need to make sure that you're blocking any vision of ramp, where Jemkin likes to lie in wait.
Yeah, blocking everything off. So Jemkin's Sheriff not able to sing right now.
Potentially plant open as well. Give your team as much options as you can.
Screens being blocked off. Elbow as well with this Pit now coming up.
Cheeky one too.
Just to secure a possible 11th round.
Yeah, you could see, you know, a Prowler Investor or a Boombot from Monyet. Get some paint shells in there as well to clear out the close angles.
Maybe
just going to choose to go through Heaven instead.
And if you find a little bit more, maybe the alt's coming through as well. Monyet then just diving straight in. He's got that judge, and he's just hammering every single player down until Jemkin goes in for a trade of his own. It's just something left, and now he's back up from Heaven, but he's got so many targets to contend with. All of them body blocking, a full firing squad, and he's down to 5 HP. Xfero out for the final frag.
Have we cursed him here? Have I said the words? Unless RRQ come out with another Thrifty. And it happens. 4 alive as well. They are just going to steal those guns. What is it with RRQ lately? Having the numbers, having no care in the world, just sending it in towards these retakes. Well, this one specifically, sending it nicely as well. Got the Nightfall invested. Yeah, thank you for the gun. Xfero was the one that invested it, right? He was the one that brought it up. Recognizing the situation that, well, I've got some satchels, I can send them. I can have a quick little kiss to the back of the side as well and really just remove you from the situation. The fact that he finds the second onto the Pit player as well, right? Awkward that Devire loses that and there's no more Pit available.
And you just love being able to watch RRQ come back in, finding themselves, awakening. More confidence off of the first map, to say the least.
Yeah. It's exciting at the moment with this backwards and forwards adventure that we're on, though.
And it's also them proving themselves to be a worthy contender of the title of who could be the greatest in SEA.
Yeah, for sure. Against each other. Yeah, we haven't seen this battle in quite a long time. It looks significantly different as well with the roster of RRQ, for example.
Especially with the new members coming in. That said, we are on only map number 2, 11 to 10. RRQ primed for possibly map point with their ultimates.
Could be scary as well. Early Pit for Xfero. Will he get sent upon or not?
Yeah, Paper X possibly looking for the full send. The Viper's Pit and the Snake Bite, though, will completely deter the dinosaurs.
Yeah, another opening frag going the way of Jemkin with the shorty. Still has dimensional drift as well to scope things out a little bit later, where
Ada booknya.
you might want to just be situating yourself as RRQ. You've got the advantage kill, just reset a little bit, figure out where Paper X might look to end things, not give them an advantage in a 1vx duel.
Precisely. Not too eager as well. I mean, look at the tight angle from Monyet. And now in position to possibly send a showstopper.
I was going to say, I want to see what Devi is trying to do over at this pit, but if this is a call for Paper X to go through vents and start to sneak in the backlines of A, that would actually be the right call.
Making more noise. If you did have Xfero pushing out, this might have been a different story, but it will be Paper X forcing some utility to then go in for the A push.
Feels like Xfero might just have to be a statue here to make sure that nobody of Paper X can hold a potential retake from main.
Silent, strong statue into the corner around rep right now. The judge not yet sounding off.
Drift out though from Jemkin, wants to find all the information. The showstopper not going to work, but Jemkin
initiates the fight. That's 3 kills now. And then for Crazy Guy to chime in as well from screens. The trade protocols just to push through and get more space into the site. Xfero, he's done his job. He's blocked off ramps, and Devi has no recourse but to allow that spike to get defused.
Yeah, Xfero is an angel in the round at the end there as well, making sure he's the protector, making sure that Paper X don't have another avenue to potentially hold a retake from. You cut off main, it makes things a little bit awkward. You get in towards it. The fact that Jemkin gets 2 on the back of coming out of that drift is absolutely insane. It's now map point though for Paper X, for RRQ. They've got 2 of them to play with here. Paper X do have another buy, at least presentable. Blades will come out for something.
What's this?
But will they get any early advantages here? Or will it go back in the favor of RRQ yet again?
Those blades are going to have to be swift and precise, if anything.
Yeah.
Might have a judge to aid as well, but how much is it really going to work out? RQ, they've got the defensive setups.
Yeah, something has been cut down a little bit in the beginning of these past couple of rounds, but now, like a hot knife through butter, he really needs to just get them easy.
Oh, he can't. The weapon draw animation took a little bit longer than he expected. And out for Prowlers from Cushy as well. Further information being found by RRQ. Just to mark the angles out from Garage, but a little bit awkward on the spray. Allows for Paper X some tiny opportunity to get into sight. Forsaken with the double kill, Jing with another. It's just Xfero left, and he doesn't have enough.
Bagus banget sih sumpah itu.
Pulled him out of this one potentially, hasn't he? 1 versus 3 for
Nggak jadi
Xfero.
mati jadi tadi.
Pick up a weapon at the very least.
You'll be able to, but is this the one that you want? It's the one that you've been favoring in this map.
At this situation, though,
Got the Vandal.
I don't think so. Comes back
hang on.
in, deals with the first, looks for further heads, but Jing just domes him instead.
Parahat
Oh,
tadi.
2-11. Will Paper X push us into overtime, or will RRQ be able to close it here? And now, for the last round of regulation, something again just not able to find value in the beginning engagements. Well, for each round, space was found for the team, for sure, but it already feels like, you know, RRQ kind of did give that to them, recognizing that they don't have the numbers in the top tower, so you fall on back. But here we go, last round of regulation. Operator out yet again for Jemkin. Going to see nobody home at the B site, but what is home is everybody at the A site. The numbers needed for RRQ.
Yeah, sudden call and a good read from Crazy Guy as well. Into position, but the showstopper, though, will just rob him of his life. That will be then more space for Paper X to shore up around A ramp.
Speaking of losing your life, being robbed of it, something again, first casualty in this round. Silence for Paper X. Seekers would spot 3 towards this A side at the moment. Towards the heavens, though, the judge heard.
Oh. Yeah, invites them into more space, but Xfero will certainly give them a bit of a warning sign. Off to the site, though, the sudden peek out from Monyet around elbow just breaks things apart. Devi, the second kill. And it's just RRQ left. We might go into overtime, folks, because Jing has the sightlines up by ramp. Jemkin down.
Hang on, they're all low. They're all half HP.
Good chance. Jemkin with the flashes. Does he have the vision? Does he have the sightlines? Looks for the duel, but in for the transfer. Forsaken swings out and provides the assistance necessary to bring us to overtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, only bangers on splits. Overtime we go to yet again. Well, I say yet again. First installment of it in this series.
I love that you cleared your throat for that one.
You gotta get it ready. You gotta get it ripe and ready. Valiant attempt from Jemkin at the end there. He's been having a banger on this map so far. 27 kills that he's coming out with. So far we've had some phenomenal moments from our duelists across these two maps.
Yeah, well, you might have one Jemkin with 27 kills up on RQ. You've got two duelists, or two players from Paper Rex who've got 21 kills apiece.
Yeah, brothers in arms, Forsaken and Jing. Certainly seeing what they can do here. But we switch things back up. Paper Rex to the defensive side. See if they can continue with where they were able to find some little bits of greatness. Starting things off though, removing Crazy Guy. Not too bad.
Yeah, forward space information into paint shells. Then another crossfire just to deny RQ A ramp control. They will elect to just sprint into the site though, and that's something, once again, finding first death.
Oh, the angle. Next Pharaoh wins that one.
And the Trailblazer might be able to get a kill until that Snakebite burns it away. Off to the site though. Paper Rex, some urgency up from heaven, as well as screens possibly. But Jemkin reads that, holds down elbow. Ramp as well as additional angles being found by RRQ. Paper Rex will have to find kills in order to get a clearer picture into sight. But so far, not good.
Ada yang nahan di mainnya.
Drops down, shot fired to mask sound. But RQ not peeking, still holding. Decent trade, and it's just a Vine, a 1v2. The spike still beeping away. Xpharaoh alongside Cushy. They could go in for a double peek, and that will be that. A singular tap to bring them the first victory in OT1.
Yeah, you feel a little bit stuck running into the elbow there as something. You got to do something as Jing there as well to try and bring it back. Satcheling in, not getting your shots on out. Great little trap play at the very beginning, but RRQ, once they're in the site, they have the right angles that they need to hold. Bit of a crossfire allowed at the back of the site. Great haunt to come out, by the way. Definitely loving to see good initiator utility always work for a kill. And now RRQ will find themselves on the map point with the lead going back onto their now defensive side.
Something glass cannon.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one. He's kind of fallen off a little bit, right? In the tail end of this map too. Just getting shut down time and time again at the very beginning. You're bringing an operator onto the attacking side. You need to be very aware and having a teammate next to you, you feel like, in case you miss the shot.
Could be something that RQ doesn't expect, but they are pushing out a garage.
Yeah, this is so risky, but so rewarding if they can find it.
Well, Forsaken is marking the back. However, he falls. Something takes the duel up by a mailroom then. So Paper Rex, they've got a dilemma here. Do they push up front or do they clear up back?
Taken down the heavy hitter in Forsaken though. So you definitely take that as RRQ for what it's worth. Something. He wins the duel against Crazy Guy. Advantage for Paper Rex into the B side. Dash across, dodging the flashes. Jemkin, he wants to do the party, he wants to do the damage.
And he's holding the angles with assistance from the team. Cushy up by the right side. Jemkin then to find the triple. Just a 1v1 left, and Jemkin has an ult.
Where does he think the Devi is coming from though? He's got the ult, the time right now for Devi to get in his head.
Devi slowly skulking forward. Jemkin marks the angle, and that will be that. The map ends in the very first OT. Final scoreline of 14 to 12. Jemkin with the ultimate awareness to silence Paper Rex.
Yeah, he's dug him out of a rough situation time and time again on this map, hasn't he? Multi-frags on multi-frags, couple of great early openers. Feels again that the shutdown on towards something hurts a little bit more for them, right? These disadvantaged scenarios as Paper Rex throwing caution to the wind a little bit, trying to really get up in your face, and you are just getting smacked a little bit. Really good adjustments of RRQ. I mean, I look at the first half and how they're navigating and conditioning Paper Rex on that attacking side, making them really guess where things are going to end, making them really fight these scrappy battles that usually Paper Rex are good for, right? How many of them were they winning in map number 1? This time, though, a little bit more awareness as RRQ and how they want to kind of push Paper Rex into the palm of their hands. Just the single OT needed at the end of this one to get it done, which means we are guaranteed a 4th map in this lower best of 5 right now. Icebox will be here.
Soonish. The first one we got to go through with is Pearl. But that said, it is an RRQ that is howling forward. You love to see it when they are finding all of these moments. Just such great situational awareness and reading how they need to hold the angles on the map against Paper Rex. And that's why those brawls are coming out in advantage for RRQ.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of excited to see which way this is going to go in the next map, of course. Like, let's get 5, baby.
This could go the full distance, but for now, we're gonna have to toss it back over onto our desk.
Berat.
Maybe, perhaps. I mean, I'm expecting it to go the full distance, but for now, that is RRQ's map.
Kalau
We are now
mau
tied at 1-1 for this
ke
series
ini,
for both of these teams, and it was a much better
delaynya
showing for
harus
RRQ.
Yeah, I
off stream
felt like
dulu
they
ya?
woke up finally. I felt like they were here to
Tapi
play
orang-orang
Jim, to
bisa
push the
nambahin
wasn't
delay
just
nggak
get
off stream.
vengeance on the Brimstone.
Caranya
So much better.
Nah,
I
nggak
mean,
tahu
I
tuh itu,
felt
Bang.
like this was a
Kayak
real great
siapa?
map to watch. It always is on split. We talk about it
Expired
all the
dia
time.
nambahin
There's one statistic
delay
I really
pas
want to
main ya
highlight here.
sama
Is that
Chance kemarin.
the three thrifties
Nggak
from
tahu
RRQ.
caranya
Three
dulu.
About
50s.
350. About 350, I think it was. No, honestly, like this was exactly what you expect from an SCA derby. You had
Delay.
messiness, you had some sloppy, thrifty rounds won, you had some clutches won, you had some man disadvantaged situations thrown in the bin, but you also had some amazing individual plays and honestly, some really, really nice game planning from both of these teams. It was so interesting to watch these two comps go head to head stylistically. PRX playing that kind of bursty, old style duelist, throwing it back to what they always used to play on Split. And I feel like RRQ kind of playing the new meta version
Ada
of that
delaynya.
with the raised Yoru that you've seen from a lot of teams, T1 included. But you have to say, Jemkin definitely the standout there, dragging them kicking and screaming through this game of Split. It was a very, very tight one that could have gone either way, but RRQ will breathe a sigh of relief because we've seen both of these teams exchange each other's map picks, and now we play a BO3 from here.
Evening up the scoreline here is so massive. Going down 0-2 is a huge mental burden, but they've leveled that playing field again as we move forward to map 3. So mood in the RRQ camp will have just shot up after that overtime one.
Oh, definitely. You could hear them screaming down there, right?
Bro,
Especially.
Crazy Guy gets loud.
Yeah,
Like when
he
he died to that raise nade, he's like, I heard him screaming the call. Like he's like, Jet solo on site, go, 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 go. He's like pushing the boys to scale out. It's something
You
that
felt
kind of-
pressured to push on site, right?
Yeah, I know.
with how he's calling the and of course Monyet as well. You can hear his roars from all the way up here, and you can just tell RQ are fired up. And this is very, very encouraging going into this series because, as we mentioned earlier on the first map, they were absent. They were absent on that first map, but now they're back and we have a series. It is confirmed. And now, of course, we are, going into Pearl much later, but this is so encouraging, as we mentioned, for RRQ, because there's so many good individual plays that really came out. We're going to go through some highlights here and particular things that we wanted to point out on the side of RRQ.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to point out was actually from Paper Rex, which is about how they like to play on their attacker side. So when you play this double duelist, you have to not be afraid to contact and take risks. We just see something walk through a smoke into B main. There could be anything behind that, but he doesn't care. They get smoked off again, but they have all this space. They're so close, and now they can burst. We even saw him do exactly the same play in the very last round of the game, where he just walks through with the op. This is why double duelist is so good for Paper Rex. It really suits their style, and contact burst is great.
This was a stroke of brilliance. We saw 3 thrifties won by RRQ, and in this round, it's a split second decision that they're able to put the pieces. You see Xfero juggle the judge over to Monyet as they see the pit on spawn side. Double satchel over to elbow, and Monyet's able to catch PRX completely pants down. They have no idea that RRQ's even going to attempt that retake. And that must have been a bit of a bitter moment, maybe, because Monyet used to do that on Paper Rex on the raise.
That's why they hired him.
It's a very Paper Rexy thing to do.
Yeah, they've just been Paper X, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that blood still runs strong through him, right? What do you think the comms were like?
I
In that
Oh,
I
situation?
honestly think that was just a stroke of brilliance from Monyet. He's literally, they initially, as we saw multiple times that game, have the judge on Viper to be able to play that disruptive role in mid, throw out the orb and put it down, but they're able to juggle it over to the raise and be able to put the retake together on the fly. I really think he just said, I'm going to satchel elbow, and then they put the rest of the pieces together after the fact, and they were able to, the rest of the team kind of play off of what Monyet wanted to put together there and understand reactively based on what the raise was doing and the entry pathing, how they needed to put the rest of that together.
And this is great also because we were wondering where he was on the first map too. Well, here he is, coming and swinging on Split. And this is brilliant from RQ, but it wasn't that far off. I mean, Paper Rex, this was an overtime, and of course, Paper Rex, each round, were not that far behind.
Without this man, like, they would not have gotten as deep into the game as they did, Morgan.
Yeah, we have to run back these Jemkin highlights. I mean, he woke up so much in this game. We see him landing these sheriff shots. You know, he got
so
them these thrifties, shot them in the wrist, and Quack lost his mind.
Yo, the wrist shot, he's breaking his opponent's wrist. Usually it's the other way around. For Jemkin, though, you can see the mechanics, the crosshair placement. He's anticipating every peek. You cannot catch this man off guard. Even in the last round where Devi's trying to flank him in through Heavenside, he's sitting on that off angle, waiting for you to peek him. This is why Jemkin, for me, is the best Yoru in the VCT.
Yeah, very much.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I think he just does such a great job. It's such a great fit for him on this age, and you know, I think if RRQ want to have a chance in this best of 5, they need this man. This man almost always leads from the front, and he's at his best when he's getting set up from his team, and he's allowed to express his own individual brilliance, and he took over this map. 7 first bloods, 32 kills, 2.2 KDA. I mean, what else do we want to see from this guy?
He's seen what Forsaken did on Fracture. He said, I can do you one better.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me your... I mean, there are things, there are agents and players that really just make sense together, and I feel like Jemkin on Yoru makes perfect sense with the way he plays and just how he's able to utilize his agent. And, you know, it works so well, especially on maps like Split. But now we are about to go into our next map, which will be Pearl. I feel like for RRQ, you know, with that renewed kind of confidence going into Pearl, they may be able to do this one better. But of course, PRX, they have some very memorable matches here in Pearl.
For RRQ, I mean, this has been a map that's been a bit of a sore spot in the map pool at times. They've been kind of deciding whether they want to play double duelist or not. They used to play Phoenix Jet in kickoff and play some different styles, recently going over to the Neon and the Yoru, as well as mixing in some slower comps. So they've really been kind of deciding what kind of comp they want to be running on Pearl, but they haven't had a lot of success on this map. The last time we saw PRX play Pearl, though, I mean, you cast your mind back to that DFN game.
Yeah, I mean, they only just got over the line in that game, but I'd like to think that a big problem in that game was the mental. It was how they were feeling, and the game got so scrappy. I do feel like they're a lot sharper since then, so they should be able to execute it better, but I am curious if they're going to change away from this Phoenix. This is a comp that RRQ know very well.
Yes.
You know, as you said, we saw them run it in kickoff, so
Yes.
it's going to be
Cuma
hard
ini
to
pakainya
really
Yoru,
surprise with that Phoenix like they've been able to catch a lot of people off, because the reason this works is
Yoru,
you don't see them against them.
Yoru.
No,
You
let
don't
mereka
see it a
sama,
lot.
iya,
You're not
Yoru,
used to having to control the mains in the same way, but
Yeah.
RRQ, in theory, should have the answers if the Phoenix does come out.
Yeah, I feel like
Phoenix,
for Pearl,
berarti Jing.
I don't know, PRX just
Yoru?
looked very comfortable with
Harusnya.
that kind of composition, right? I feel like they might go with it again.
Yorunya sih
just
Forsaken
maybe
lah.
change up some things in their play. So perhaps it's not the Phoenix that we need to direct our attention to.
Yeah, I think
Kayaknya.
Pearl has been a bit of a sore spot in the
Really?
map pool for both of these
Si
teams at
something
times.
ini
So
dong.
RRQ being the team that will pick it as the
Fit.
third map in this series. For PRX, they definitely struggled against DFM. It was kind of
Ya,
messy
smoke-nya
game, so
siapa?
it's really a
Batman.
redemption chance for both
Iya,
of these teams
kayaknya.
to show that their Pearl is a little bit better than you'd be expecting, because at times you've seen brilliant games of Pearl
biasanya
for both of
Forsaken
these teams,
pakai
but the last
ini
couple
Yoru
of
gitu.
games maybe leaving a little bit of a
ya.
sour taste in their mouth. But you can't have gaps in your map pool in a whole best of 5, guys. You've got to be playing your way through the entire pool. So this is going to be a true test of who has figured out some of their mistakes in the map pool, and Pearl is going to be the perfect example of which team's going to be able to adapt and actually improve on what didn't work for them in the last couple of games.
Yeah, it's all about a lot of prep, right, for these best of 5s. You definitely have to prepare differently. In a best of 3, you can steer it away, so you often have maps that you can play, but you'd rather not. And I think Pearl has been one of those maps for both of these teams, but now I think this becomes a really crucial swing map, because I suppose if you're looking at that map pool as a whole, I think both these teams might write off Pearl and go, okay, yeah, we might not get
That's
that
a
one.
second phase ban
Yeah,
most of the
for
time.
sure. But someone has to win, so somebody snowballs a lot of momentum forward from this map 3 as we move towards what could potentially be a final map.
Yeah, especially since, you know, we have both teams did win their maps, so they do have 1-1.
Yeah.
So you mentioning Pearl as a swing map, that's very, very likely. And I do love it when teams are really just like, it's more like a pick your poison, especially in a best of 5, right? And you have Pearl coming up and it's like, no, you know what? We're really going to push this. We believe that we have a solid game plan on this. It just didn't work out the few times, but let's bring it out now.
Okay.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of Killjoy.
Yeah, look,
Oh,
RRQ, I mean,
Forsaken
they are going to
Sentinel.
be playing that double duelist yet again with the Neon Yoru. It's something that they've been going to in this stage. A lot of teams playing something similar to this in combination with the Tae can have these very quick, fast executes where you play this burst style with the Yo and the Neon, and you have the Teo utility that makes that execute a little bit easier to get off. They will start out on attack. PRX have chosen defense here.
Yeah, PaperX only making that one change, swapping the Vice over to that Killjoy, so Devi has a lot to do against this double duelist.
Well, let's see if that one change is enough to take this map. We'll throw it over to our casters, Quack and Komodo, for our third map in this series. Let's step into Pearl.
Map number 3, and yeah, they're absolutely right. You know, we do see a lot of Killjoy. RQ also swapping back to it.
Back to where the train left the station, though, for PaperX.
Oh,
the game
DFM
against DFM, going to that stretch of overtime. Akame trying to deliver the absolute brilliant factor in that game, just couldn't get it over the line.
That was that one win that PaperX had on Pearl. Meanwhile, for RQ, it's both losses on Pearl.
Yep.
As well.
Interesting for me as well that both teams are opting to go for the Killjoy instead of the Vice as well. See maybe who can do their best Margaret impression. I always think Margaret on this map is stellar.
Right, they both want to go in for those fights rather than taking their time with things, buying out time with the shear wall and such. Right now, it's a drone for info.
Bisa naik ke situ ya scan-nya.
Yeah, I was going to say how much is that going to force PaperX to rotate a little bit to the A site, but you got to remember it is where the Sentinel is the Guardian. So we'll see essentially what Forsaken does there, what the art play comes out for PaperX. Meanwhile, B is kind of free reign, free territory, right? You gather the orb there as RRQ, start to pivot on back. Not really seeing any overinvestment.
Yeah, and PaperX is okay with that.
Oh, now they start to get a little eager.
Going in for a possible retake play. PaperX, yes, down to 50 seconds. You don't see anything yet. Let's begin to traverse forward.
But where do they want to go, right? Generally, when you're running on the Vice, if you're going towards the A site, you see a lot of teams have the shear that cuts off through top of mid towards A main. In running the Killjoy, you're expecting to hear a turret or something, right? So if you hear nothing at the moment, now the utility all comes towards this B site, you know what's happening. It's going to have to be a retake.
Yeah. Retake where Crazy Guy
is in another. He's in another postcode.
He's in the Omega dimension.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's gonna be a real tricky one. PaperX though, they eliminate that turret, so RQ begins to watch their flanks somewhat. That's when Forsaken alongside Devi begins
Juga dari tadi
spawn.
nahan di Emen dia.
Small chunk of damage, but the spike.
The turret, watch the flank.
Nahan, bener-bener nahan dia dari tadi. Lama buatnya.
So not too bad. PaperX, this is a 5v4 in clarity. PaperX are just happy to take the numbers fights head on. Off towards Link though, and it's Jemkin along from Hall. PaperX completely crunched up into sight because not much was cleared out.
I mean, that's going to be the problem for PaperX, where they just had zero
Dia
idea.
juga masih punya Crazy Guy tuh
Right? They don't know
dari
if it's coming A,
JP.
they don't know if it's coming B. They call for the mid push a little bit too late, and then they have to double back a little bit when the site is just given. You know, you've got a couple of protocols there as well to have the turret watching the flank, but you're not having enough time to just clear a lot of the angles in these 5 versus 5s. These are going to need to be some scenarios where PaperX have to adjust real early on the defender's side, and probably RRQ too, right? If they're given those sort of scenarios, well, they're going to be happy as Larry, so if they don't have to adjust too much, that's really going to work favor for them. Just coming into this second round though, lots of rifles, deep lanes on this map of course. And for something bringing out the Marshal, need to see him connect with some shots. Not fall first.
Just hold on to it for now. RQ though, ooh, if we're talking about something falling first, this might be where that happens.
I mean, it is the second round though, right?
Fair enough. Goes in for the repeat. He spots numbers and spades, and he calls out for the team.
But what can you do here? You've got your team here, but do you have the shots?
Yeah, maybe play inside of the smokes. They're looking for the right clicks. Jing does find the first one, but RRQ, they've got the flashes, they've got the forces, and they will continue to overwhelm Jing. Another kill though, and he gets a third! A brilliant flash, but Jemkin will snuff him out. Just Forsaken left, who does have the Marshal, but Jemkin on an absolute tear.
Yeah, needed to hit that shot at the end there with that Marshal. Take out Jemkin one-on-one. Different scenario potentially. Lion's share of damage done by Jing. Feel like if he got that kill as well with the Classic, that would be an absolute monstrous performance to come out from him on the agent that you don't generally see played in the game of Valorant no more. A Jing special, better Jemkin better. Looking to see who's going to be the top duelist in this one, right? Something falling a little bit. Jemkin stepping up in the previous map, carrying that over in towards this one. Now the bonus round for PaperX.
That's where you would love to see something get his head back into the game, especially in a crucial round like this one. But Jemkin out from the back with the dimensional drift. The salvos as well, and causes them to feel so uncomfortable. Something getting silenced by the Sheriff. Jemkin back sight.
Got to run it back as Jing. You have to invest in this round. Feel like you've already lost the control of the site. You need your team to come on over.
Just waiting for the right time. Star is being propped up as well. We begin with the hot hands to block out position, but it's been quickly shot down. Still though, the rest of the team with numbers are able to find trades. Cushy trying to hold out by Pillar. Silences the first duel, off to the next. Petman out from heaven.
Cushy nearly came away with the goods there. That would have been a sinister round for RRQ to find. And just one alive at the end for Paper X too. Means that there's going to be a couple of lighter shields coming into it. The fact that there's a dimensional drift, by the way, coming in towards that round makes things really awkward for Paper X too. Jemkin noting a lot of members assisting in quite the significant amount of kills. Just at the end there, the scrap battle this time won by Patman, scoped in with the Bulldog. You asked who's got the dog in them a little bit earlier, Quack. I think all 10 players have the capability to do that right now in this map.
Push us to a map 5 maybe. Petman with the stability though. 3-2 stack.
Towards the A site now. Drone in early to back it on up as well. Mon yet to be sent on in. Devi has to be really careful. Can't get it done. Who other than Jemkin to find the first?
Yeah, quick bulldoze, quick contact, and Paper X has no choice but to hang back. Reinforcements have arrived, however. I don't know how much it's really going to provide.
You should run.
That lockdown makes things so awkward as well, doesn't it?
Oh, give up your
hang
life
on.
for the lockdown, but Paper X will continue to push up, but they're gonna have to cool off because of that ult. Petman, though, finds elevation to take the lockdown away, stuns up from Monyet. Petman with another kill. It's just Xfera left, but he does have vision. Stars up as well. Takes down the first frag. Then for Petman to hold, does he have the goods? He hops up the stairs, Xfera knows, and he times it just right. A Red Bull clutch for RRQ.
Wasn't on the board just yet, but now he is with a round in tow as well. Things look a little bit awkward when Devi loses his life first on towards the site, and you've got a lockdown in play as well. The ult economy at the moment, right? You have the dimensional drift last round, nearly working out for RRQ. This time a lockdown invested. You're thinking, all right, they're starting to really navigate these quite well, but it's the Red Bull clutch from Xfera. Not using the grab well too early as well, finding just the catch first.
Completely unfazed by that one.
And that resets Paper X a little bit coming into this new round too. Something with an Outlaw, Blades in one, but nobody seen towards the B site here for RRQ. It's yet again towards the Alpha side.
Might be an alt orb if Paper X does decide to push up, but that said, RRQ currently just so much info into A site.
Yeah, Jing as well on the Phoenix, right? No flashes, so it's good timing on the Nebula at least to stave off any rush attempts from RRQ. If you can try and force them towards the B side at the moment, you're very happy with that as Paper X, right? That's where your Outlaw is. That's where the main gun that you want to do some damage is right now. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. A minute to go. RRQ, they change up their own approach now as well, which if they continue this one, Quack.
Just checking out the back, and they've noted that Paper X had pushed up before, so trying to work around that, but yeah, it does come down to something, doesn't it? Until...
Yeah. Does have to play the angle right at this B site too, though.
Jemkin.
He's got a gate crash. It's all right.
Hasn't it been next? Oh, no, yeah, he does have one.
Oh.
Still holding the angle. Hot hand spent, though.
Oh, that's baited something to move off his line, but he still finds the one.
Oh, almost the second, but it's enough for the blades to come out. 20 seconds, and RQ needs to stick a plant.
Too far.
Yeah, unfortunate something. Tried to find his moment, but RQ denies it.
Makes things really hard, though. No blades, just pistols.
Yeah, flashes as well, but again, the hot hands were already spent, so RQ are just happy to mark these angles up towards heaven. The swing out from Forsaken does aid them somewhat until the rest of RQ just pulled down their mouse. Forsaken with 30 HP will be quickly dealt with, and RRQ marches onward to a 4th round win.
Yeah, the sort of time right now coming in towards a rifle round, but you may consider bringing out a timeout as Paper X, right? You don't have the round count. You're starting to lose a lot of control. You're also not getting a lot of forward reads. It feels like we've just seen a lot of standing still at the moment from Paper Rex. A little bit too late before they start to gather some information around the map, right?
Whoa. We're on map 3.
Okay, that's definitely a timeout coming out from Alex.
Yes.
Marah.
Press the
Marah dia.
pause button
Tapi nggak
and,
setruk-setruk ya.
well, bring them back in.
Reset time.
Menyan bibirnya.
In the mental capacity, it feels like.
Always one of these games, always some of these moments where you have a rocky one from the previous map, and you begin to get into this mentality where you want to find kills to bring yourself back into the game, but that's not always how it works.
You're speaking about that, right? Who was doing a lot of the lion's share of kills when we think to map 1 in this series, right? We saw consistency from kind of everyone, right? Taking space, taking names. We even had something trying to still do what he could, you know, on the Brimstone, but it really was Forsaken on Fracture for Paper X. You're moving on to Split. It's Forsaken and Jing, right? Something getting up there as well, but it feels like a lot of these duels that he's taken, he's losing his life first, right? He had 6 first deaths on the previous map of Split. And I know it's early stages come this one, but the fact that he's popped the Blade Storm there and jumped out wide into the open, and there's members there already, a little bit of a wrong read in that scenario.
I mean, he's hungry, almost too hungry, starved for these moments. He hasn't found them. RQ, meanwhile.
Change up for Paper X. Yeah, RRQ are going to start to sniff a bunch of this utility out towards the B side of things. Alarm bot for force contact, but Paper Rex are actually holding dub up through A main. Meanwhile, Dimensional Drift at B.
Oh, Paper Rex will find Xfero, something almost nearly losing his life, but still the sight handed over onto RQ. Forsaken with the Odin spam, however, fully blinded. Unfortunately, not able to find anything further. The overdrive, though, and it's the Vi who stops it.
But Jemkin's still alive, remember?
And he's still able to hold it down by Halls. Cushy once again, but not able to get the spike planted. There's a full minute though, and Jemkin
Gate crash, grab the spike, maybe
has
get out.
flashes as well, down to holding the angle. Jing trying to get a bit more space. Devi is low, so he knows he's trying to play it safe. They know that Jemkin's looking for the spike plant, and that's the precise moment when Devi swings out at the right time.
Not really a crossfire that they could kind of control in that scenario. So just a bit of a swing to coming out and hitting his shot. That duel looks awkward from something, even though he wins it too, by the way. Very lucky to be able to come away with that one to give Paper Rex an advantage and hold on to it, most importantly too. You know, at the end there in that 2 versus 1 that there is the run it back for Jing, just in case he potentially loses his teammate. Can have a second go at winning the 1 versus 1. Yeah, destroy a bit of the economy though as RRQ. You forced them for a bit of a lesser buy, though they did win 2 thrifties in the last map, so we'll see what they can do here. Monyet ahead of the curve, down for the count.
And Paper X upwards into main. Still trying to hold the angles in case RQ continues to peek out, but this will be a lot of control. It's only Forsaken though, onto the B side, and he's been noted.
Yeah. Needed to see a lifeline thrown to Paper X to keep them in a good stead on this map. That's a lot of bodies spotted out from Forsaken though, stuck in the holes.
Just stay alive, you gotta judge. He's waiting for the right moment. Nightfall sent over by his team, but into the smokes, nothing really found. Cushy, reading the situation, continues to push into Link.
He's found both of them at the A site. What does this mean for RRQ? Do they stay B? Do they leave?
Certainly not. That's the question that you have to ask yourselves as Paper Rex, and that's where it gets
Cushy.
so darn confusing. Cushy, another kill, and the spike back into B.
It doesn't really matter where they go at the moment, you feel like. Patman Forsaken are confused on what to do.
Just where are they going? And, well, back into B, now you know, but at this point, how can you really play out the round? You pick up a weapon, but Cushy's already found you from behind. RRQ, masterclass at working the map.
That's phenomenal from Cushy. The fact that he's able to find those 2 kills over in the A art side of things, I think we need to see how those ones did result. Were they knife out duels? He caught something, and then gone for the re-peek on the second one with the burst mode. That is absolutely disgusting. What an individual round to come through from Cushy. And you look at the reads that RRQ are trying to do as well. It feels like a bit of to and fro. Come A, don't come A, stay B. Cosmic Divide invested too. Let's just focus our head. We've got the round back. Paper X absolutely shut down back onto the pistols yet again.
I mean, a phenomenal pickup now onto the Sentinel. He's 1 away from lockdown. Cushy being able to provide such a performance for RRQ.
Bit of a trap here too.
Yeah, Paper X, all the pistols, but RRQ ready for the play. They're able to mow every single Paper X player down, and it's just Forsaken left.
Yeah, you feel like the job's done in this round. RRQ just drop a single member in Jemkin, Forsaken. I mean, he's already got the lockdown. Doesn't matter what kills he gets. You got to try and hold your economy in your mind for RRQ here, but if you lose another member, you can just redrop anyway. So this is a good round for them. The turret, okay.
Come on yet. He's seen him, but took a little bit of time to continue holding mouse one. Cushy though, fully aware, just needs one bullet, and that will be that.
6-2.
Iya, nggak tahu ya
Some
ini.
good leads here. Some great shots coming on through. They can afford a couple of mistakes here and there.
Apa
For
gara-gara
sure.
terlalu ke kanan?
This is where you would consider the big blow soon, right? If they're able to stave off another big gun round from Paper X, well, maybe they start to derail this train. Yeah, you can just laugh on that situation. That's good. It happens.
Paper X aren't laughing though.
No, absolutely not. See what they've got in store for us on this round. As mentioned, Jing still holding on to the runner back. 6-point ulti. You can refresh that time and time again to have huge success on a map like Pearl.
And even with the op back in as well, not spotting too much out. The entire Paper X core on the A site needs to hold true.
Oh, but this is a bit of a trap, isn't it? Divai is stuck. The fact that he loses that duel, super awkward. The fact that the lockdown takes a while to come in toward it too. Just disrespected into the site. Can establish a plant here as RRQ look to hold it with numbers.
Yeah, the only way that this goes forward for Paper X is if they begin to find the picks, something with a possible angle. Jing though, in with a run it back, just fully pushes out. Something then out from Doug, able to take down Monyet. 3v3, and RQ have a crossfire set up. Crazy guy holding the angle, but gets spotted out by Jing. Jemkin holding out from stairs now, and he goes Dimensional Drift. Where is he gonna go? You have to come out because something's sticking the spike to halfway. Jemkin needing to swing, but still the rounds not being found. It's Forsaken picking one back up for Paper X.
Another battle bathed in blood for both of the teams around that site there, but it is one out at the end by Paper X. Despite losing Divai early on, no more smokes available. Just trying to take it into their own hands, something. And Forsaken trying to see what they can do. It feels like in that end there when the Dimensional Drift is activated from Jemkin that he's a little bit stuck. No teammates to play on the back of that information.
Belum buka, masalah dari belum
So
buka
that lifeline yet again given over towards Paper X to see if they can tie things up. But you still got to chip away again against another gun round from RRQ. Still leaning towards this A side, a bit of a split through Art where there's going to be no info from Paper X. They're going to have to try and have a focal point towards winning this main fight.
Precisely that. Paper X hasn't really played this position, and that's why RQ, Crazy Guy, has opted to go for this. The Prowler, though, at the right time, the C's as well. And Paper X continues to push.
The fact that they get out of there, is this just the leave A? We've seen too many members.
Yeah, looking for contact, but it's also the utility being spent. Out from Connector, though, Forsaken. A slight angle, but also RQ with the movement to bypass all of it. It's down to something. He's got to watch the angles, but the overdrive, can he really connect the shot? Looks for it, and he does! In with the tailwind as well. He does have a shorty, his favorite weapon. Might be stunned up now, but he's able to keep himself alive for just a second longer until the salvos blow him up.
I wonder if Divide has to use the Cosmic Divide here for this retake. It would be good. It's delivered on the hot hands. You are dead as Jemkin. No. Out with 15, and Crazy Guy finds Jing.
Such support. It's the angles once again. RRQ, a couple up by Pillar, but Forsaken marks it. The operator being marked down as well, but because she still comes up with another kill. It's a 2v2, and Patman goes in for the swing. What confidence! And it's down to Xfero, undetected so far. And he sleuths forward. Cosmic Divide up. Gravity well as well. It's in for Patman, but still Divide once again. Kalish Rashidi clutching up for Paper X.
We've seen Divide use the operator on the Killjoy a little bit of times, not on this map though, but Kushi bringing that into his hands. He can point and click, he can try and do something. Meanwhile, something, Corpse in the halls too. Great Nova Pulse, great salvos to make him a little bit hot under the collar. But in the 2 versus 1, the fact that that op shot does actually miss means that Xfero has to try and pull that one through. Starting to get closer, a couple of retakes to come through from Paper X. They will have to contend with yet another investment of RRQ here, choosing to go for the 4 sub.
And hopefully if you're a Paper X fan, That might alleviate some pressure for the rest of the team, but still.
Oh, 4 members.
Pushing up again. It's going to be contact with the op. And then for the curveball, look at this. Flashes for flashes, and Jemkin is completely stunned and dazed.
Yeah, that's commanding, isn't it, there? And now you've got the information noted that Cushy is up through the street, but you don't necessarily need to give him the duel, right? You see that this is an investment from RRQ. You know that if you win this round, you're resetting them come the last round of the half where what? They might be picking up the Armageddon for Crazy Guy. They're not close to really anything else bar xFaro needing to find 2 picks, 2 ulti points. So this was a much needed round for PaperX.
Yeah, if you're PaperX, I mean, you're happy to play the next round a little bit slower. That's why this push-up A main was just so unexpected, but well-crafted by. We've seen multiple ultimates for Jing now already in this first half as well. He's able to possibly pull off yet another in the next round.
Nah, ini nih bisa dikeker-keker tapi nggak ngelepas.
Are you happy enough on
Gimana ya
the
caranya ya?
attacking side, only finding 6 or maybe 7 or 5? You know, they struggled against T1 when they went on towards their defensive side. They looked a bit better, you know, for the game against Nongshim. But then you also remember, well, Nongshim did trail at the half, and there was not a lot from RRQ on defense as well. So I start to put things in perspective, right? You've got your defensive sides that you've been able to figure out so far over on Fracture that, well, it was 2. You had 2 rounds on defense and that was it. And then you're split as well. 4 rounds, the lion's share, or 5 if you include OT, doesn't get good favor today so far on defense, in Pearl's history on defense for RRQ. So I really wonder, are they going to be happy enough with 6 or 7 if they get the next round of this half?
It's definitely something to consider. There are a lot of supportive fans out there, though, and if you're looking at the upwards trajectory, 4 defensive rounds is definitely more than 2.
Let's just run it back. Let's just go again. Not with the ultimate, but maybe if Jing finds it, it's 4 again at this A site. And there's going to be a big old duel from RRQ.
Oh, boy. Salvos, and he just goes in for it as well. Jing, support from the Haunt, and he's looking for the wallbang shots. Monyet, though, looking for space, but silence. The judge will not be able to sound off. Something in with another angle being held as well, and it's all of a sudden just Crazy Guy left alone in the cold. He doesn't find anything. It's xFaro who has to find more.
And noted too.
Oh, the trail just reveals everything, doesn't it? Petman will pick up that tied up score.
Trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Call that one insanity. And it just doesn't work out yet again for RRQ. Shut down. Everybody just knowing that they need to be narrow focused on those crosshairs again for PaperX. You've only really got one angle to watch when you're stampeding up through the main like that. So they will tie things up 6-6 at the half. A great collection of 4 rounds in a row from PaperX. So I think Alex will be, you know, happier now, as opposed to the rage moment we got earlier on.
I just want to clarify, right? Well, we do see him kind of go off in that coaching booth. I believe in the actual calls and timeouts himself. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to remember how much all of these players and coaches and stuff sacrifice their time, their efforts. You know, Valorant is their life when they're here, right? It's always on their mind. They're trying to improve, they're trying to do their best, they're trying to showcase, you know, that they want to be the top team in the world, right? That they want to get these overseas plays happening, they want to get to the Masters, get to the Champions, they want to win. And when you lose, it's the worst feeling. So trying to, you know, get the best for your team, your emotions just do get the better of you sometimes, right?
That's when you precisely have to reel them in. It's down to these very crucial moments, pivotal moments. We're not talking about practice, we're talking about the game that you go out there and die for. Putting their lives on the line right now as we go into the second half onto Pearl. RRQ looking for a possible second map win because the upcoming ones just never quite know what to expect. PaperX so far, though, with the momentum being found. 4 rounds in a row. Monyet with the pushes out from A-main.
Towards pistol round, RRQ from the first one of this map. PaperX, though, leading in Pacific with number 1 pistol collections.
Yes,
we'll remove a bit of this utility over through Art, but meanwhile, RRQ seeing that They've got A main control. Looking elsewhere around the map. And now Gate Crash. Out of there.
Nation's beginning to move across the board, but you do have some slight lurks all across. Forsaken, possibly.
Monyet's going to be here quick though. Remember, on the Neon, can sprint on over quickly.
And I'll tell you what is just as quick. It's going to be Paper Rex with the double duelist, looking for some space in towards halls, but it hasn't been found yet. It's Jemkin who's hiding inside, but the ghost shots, they're not there. It's Cushy and Xfero off to the back, and it's Monyet as well. Paper Rex once again looking for the trades to find more space, and they found it. It's just Crazy Guy left.
And they saw where those salvos came from too.
To know exactly where he is. Do they push up though? Surely not. You've got the turrets, you've got the placements. Just more obstacles for Crazy Guy to contend with until the spike goes down. Crazy Guy trying to find the right moment to isolate the duels. He's hugging the corners, hugging the walls, but Forsaken will be a little bit more precise.
Yeah. Doesn't matter that there's information for RRQ that they've got A main control. If no one of Paper Rex is there, well, they're going to have numbers when they look to break in towards the B side, isn't it? The Blaze Wall as well that you got to contend against, rather. Allows for the play in towards the halls where you think these trades starting to come out. RRQ swinging together in numbers with Monyet sliding on in, looking to get some great damage, but it's just Paper Rex, again, at the right position with the right numbers to get the trade, something that they were so fluid with over on Fracture.
Especially back hall, when you consider it's Jing with the flashes, he
Kok dia bisa naik ke atas?
continuously sends them out, just keeps RRQ at bay. Off to the next
Bukannya
round,
itu
you've got
ada ini
decent
ya.
buy-ups, 2 Bulldogs, a Marshall, and with the long range that you're happy to go into main.
Yeah, you're just kind of not wanting to run in the stack, right? You're making sure that you're seeing that if no one's home from RRQ at this side, well, let's just plan open and defend it. Eventually, RRQ are going to have to second guess themselves in their stack towards A and throw caution to the wind, look for some damage, go up with the spike, you know, standard anti-eco things when you don't go for a bit of a force bite. So little by little, Paper Rex will creep in towards this B site, put their bits of utility there, go for the plant, and then let's just see what RRQ have for us. If anything at all, because there is a very real world that they all just go with the spike.
Probably. Well, we've seen the current teams do that, but this is SEA, Komodo. We expect...
The problem is, though, there's a very big difference when you've got Jing here.
Yeah, that's true.
On the Phoenix, you're so quick to get this ulti.
Oh, and look at something.
He's hungry, but...
Once again, it's SEA. We expect literature. We expect absolute cinema. Come on, guys. Come on.
I don't see 5 kills on a Marshall, though.
Come on. That's the first. Oh, salvo. There's number 2. Number 3. He's too low. Surely. Well, it's a
He's
Marshall.
dead to the spike.
Yeah.
You'd rather that than give them an ulti point, so...
I'm sad.
There we go. Everybody going down with the ship. Something. Farewell, Captain. Okay. 8-6. Paper Rex still continuing this lead, still continuing this accumulation of rounds in towards the bonus round of an RRQ. See if they're going to be able to get on the board. And how much for me, I think, is Jemkin going to stay around for any fights that go to the B side as well, right? RRQ really favoring the A side of this map of Pearl with their new double duelist look. What can they be set up for on this Teho as well from Crazy Guy? Now, coupled with a bunch of this Astrostar utility as well, they'll gather the control of the A main, but seeing something in return from Paper Rex.
Yeah, you would take a gander that you expect Jemkin right around the corner. The Russian duelist picks it up.
And finally, there's a bit of a difference, right? It's something actually winning the duel this time.
Possibly more space in the B site. You do have Cushy, who has been on a hot streak on the other end, though. Taken up by Link, but he gets blocked up by the hot hands!
Yeah, that's gorgeous from Jing, isn't it? One away from the runner back at the moment, and you're looking to potentially establish the plant with all of the numbers here for RRQ.
Whoa. And you just expect the spike corner being planted. Monyet with a great spam. However, Paper Rex able to refill space. Forsaken on the flank.
Kelihatan ya ininya ya.
Noted by the turret, though.
Drone-nya ya.
Does bring some attention away. The rest of the team have begun to hold down the positions, but Monyet looking for some spacing towards back halls. That fast lane just provides so much cover. Jing, though, with the aim, and it's Cushy now with a double as well.
It's not for him. He can just hold it.
1-1. Forsaken, he has to run through, but he doesn't have the time. Cushy's just sticking it all the way into the round being picked up.
Rough at the end though.
Partyy
Loses his
Oke
life
ya
too, so
pulangnya.
no one surviving for RRQ, but they at least will win the round, get a little bit closer towards some of their ultis as well. But my, the scrap battle, yeah, the economy gets a bit reset, doesn't it? That's the problem when you've got the quick rotation from all of the RRQ members. The fact that you're trying to plant a little bit more open, and you get shut down as Patman. There's no time really for that flank to come through from Forsaken. He didn't win any battle in through the street. And not planning for it.
That's the thing about the brawly, scruffy fights, Komodo. I mean, it comes down to attrition. How much do you have left in the tank? And RRQ right now, they're beginning to run a little bit dry.
And in these sort of scenarios as well, it's how much can you just recognize you need to shrug it off and go again, right? Yeah, we should have won the round, we should have won it, but you didn't, so
Let's keep going.
just have a level head, recognize that, well, we did remove all the guns. It was the bonus round, so they don't have a lot of cash built up whatsoever. They're probably going to look to take a knee come this next round.
Meanwhile, PaperX possibly looking to go and extend this gap from 2 rounds to maybe 3-round gap. They've got the guns, they've got the space right now, something up towards the pillar.
Yeah, just how patient is he going to be?
He's expecting a jump peek.
I mean, why wouldn't you at this point in time? It's very common. Jemkin's now going to give it to him, and he doesn't know. He did not spot that. So Jemkin has the info for RRQ right now that they've spotted something, but he's just the lone straggler at the moment. An Outlaw would be given over as PaperX still prioritizing this A site via the timing as well. Something is going to get out of a sticky situation. A runner back invested. It's okay. You'll scope out all of this site. You'll get free territory. Now you protect it.
That's the PaperX teamwork right there. That's the hive mind. He pulls off, something pulls off just as soon as the team gets to site.
Do they overheat here?
Oh, come on, surely not. They've done this so many times before, but they've also recovered from such mishaps, perhaps. Stars up now, and TX Petman is holding off towards the back.
RRQ are just giving them too much respect at the moment, though. They've invested some upgraded pistols, and they're just not really pushing. They're looking for any economical damage, any flanks that potentially would come, and PaperX are at least not giving it to them. So another avenue where you're probably just going to lose your life to the explosion.
And that affords for Petman to possibly greedily lap up some alt points. That will be 2. Crazy guy for the trade, and a rifle picked up from Monyet.
Yeah, that'll help balance the numbers just a small bit for RRQ. You know, one weapon that you can take away from that will mean, you know, an upgrade of shield coming in towards the next round.
It's not too bad.
But importantly, PaperX, right, they lose the previous on the bonus, which generally is going to be the result anyway coming into a bonus round, but they do pick up the next one, so you would assume that they're still going to be okay with it.
They are.
Now
right
is the rounds to best, though, right? You've got a full gun round here, and my real question for RRQ is, what do you have on the defenses? Because on this map, you've not looked the greatest.
Yeah, they've been playing with their cards close to their chest, but right now, once again, some slight aim control. Jemkin with the goods.
Yeah, that's great. That's a sharp shot to get a leg up in this round. Force PaperX to have a different approach.
Different approach it will be with Forsaken trying to create some pressure around the back of B-Link.
I don't mind this actually from RRQ. Switching into a retake over at the B site where you've got a trap in the halls from your Killjoy utility. You can buy time with a nice popped Nebula as well. You start to figure out the information around the A main side of things. Nobody's home, so maybe you're pivoting Jemkin a little bit back, or you're pivoting Crazy Guy for the salvos.
You anticipate the Nightfall as well, so completely evading that in full. Cushy not even getting marked by it. Now there's a very slight window of opportunity to sneak up as soon as that smoke dissipates.
Yeah, but this is going to be a wild one, isn't it? RRQ building up with all of this utility for a huge retake.
Comes down to the fights. PaperX, every single one holding up by Pillar. Save for something who's up around B-Link, maybe able to do something with the Outlaw. I don't know about that range though. Everything's smoked off right now, and it's the salvos that forces PaperX out of position. Around the outskirts of this smoke, though, and it's Forsaken evening up the score. He finds a couple more flicks, and Device sounds off as well. Cushy finding the trades, but he's down to 30 HP. It's just something. And he's trying to play for time. Of course, it's a shorty as well. Look at the B-Hub, look at the movement, the airstrafes, down to Cushy.
He recognizes that he has time on his side. Great mollies to come out from Forsaken. Great gravity well as well to remove Crazy Guy off a potential defuse. And then you've got the right weapon at the right time, but you're just trying to make sure that he's not trying to sweep the rug out from under you. That was a Could have been a problematic one for Paper X, given the fact that they did lose it earlier on, right? They lost the first Jules, they do manage to get the plant, but they bring a little bit of stability to them. And they steal that 4 versus 5 in the post-plant scenario. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for RRQ for the meantime. They need a big discussion here, because that's another defensive round that they are not able to find, which means investments going forward. For right now,
I'd like to take a poke and, you know, kind of wonder about some of the plays and the compositions as well, because now you're seeing Paper X repeatedly play around the smokes. In that little retake, it was just Forsaken playing around it, and without the information, without the drones or the haunts, there's a slight difference. And Paper X have been exploiting these ranges. They're hiding underneath RSQ's nose.
It's something that I highlighted a little bit earlier as well, right? Where a map like Pearl currently with this new RRQ roster, it's not their favored map, right? It's not a map that they've, you know, been locking in the same agents, opting to pick, opting to see picked against them in common occurrence, right? We're switching control, we're switching a couple of agents in there, right? Between the Neon or between the KO, and changing who's playing what role. Feels like RRQ on Pearl, it's still not looking the greatest. And in this sort of scenario as well, you know, are you going to have to look to just be perma-banning it come best of 3 territory?
Meanwhile, for Paper X, this gap just gets wider and wider in towards A main control now.
I like the initiative, at least from the duelists over towards B main. You'll pick up an ulti orb there for Jemkin. Alpha on yet. You're both 1 away now from the ults. You'll pick that up with Death as Jemkin, and you know the space now as well, right? Pistols again for the defenders, just playing to the numbers as Paper X.
Well, if Monyet finds a kill, it could be Overdrive.
Yeah.
Taking a page out of Paper X's book, hiding inside the smoke. Paper X, though, doing their due diligence. They check it. It's a second kill, though. And look at that. Relay both into the B. Monyet up for a triple. Maybe the quad until Davai prevents that from happening.
But he's done his damage, hasn't he? The fact that he gets away with 3, that's an absolute mockery on what Paper X had for this round.
Forsaken has been noted as well. So even though you have the site somewhat smoked off, is it safe enough to truly get the spike planted? The Cosmic Divide invested because of it. Forsaken continuing to try to hold further space.
Lockdown for Kurshi. It's going to force them into a little bit of an open scenario.
Well, that will be somewhat similar to the one before, and look at this, juggling the guns to get them away out of RQ's reach.
He can go for a full spray if Xfero gets a smoke down on the spike and then get the other gun to continue the spray.
And that's what it comes down to. RRQ, even if they try to go in for the body blocks, I don't know how successful it's going to be, but peeking through the sprays, Cushy finds the kill. Crazy Guy sticking it all the way through. A thrifty round comes up all of a sudden.
What is it with RRQ and catching thrifties in this series so far? It's always the case that the round they need the most is of a thrifty variety. And this is a scenario as well where the first kill goes the way of Paper X. They don't sniff out what's happening in the smoke though, and it absolutely gets the better of them, doesn't it?
They were checking it, but of course Monyet. It's Monyet. It has to be Monyet. What a round.
I did all the heavy lifting. The fact that you guys win it, yeah, let's go.
Let's see if they can tie it up. 2 more. Paper X, though, they will not be slowing down.
Yeah, in fact, turning up the heat right now, aren't they? Straight up through the guts of mid, through towards Art, towards the A side with a bit of a split. The blades, though. Oh, no, something. Oh, he's missed the ball.
Well, he's getting the space for the team nonetheless. Looking for possible right clicks with the Nebula propped up against Crazy Guy right now. And his further space as well. Flower being blocked off again. And that's Padman continuing to push up through Secret, completely confounding RRQ.
And you can't do a thing as Jemkin right now. Talk about a change of pace from Paper X. Very slow and steady these last couple ones. Turning up to 11. Right in your face. A little bit overzealous. Don't get me wrong. Pushing in towards Flowers, but Patman winning his jewels as well through Secret.
It's just ridiculous how quick Paper X can truly accelerate.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard this repeatedly from multiple teams that it's a Paper X thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they had such amount of time where they were looking out of Pacific, right? But they're starting to really find their rhythm. Couple of consolation frags at the end there for Jemkin, just going to remove the guns from Paper X for all intents and purposes. Play with their economy just a little bit. At thrifty rounds, they're not able to double down with another on the back of it. I mean, madness from Patman, by the way, into his teammate's molly, catching him off guard. Yeah.
Iya, ada
That was
berdua,
a true
makanya.
and blue W gaming round come
From the
out.
new guy too, Patman. He's adopted quite nicely.
Fits in like a glove, and there we have it. A timeout by Coach Ewok and well, Warbirds as well. We'll see if they are able to deliver PaperX an L in this moment, because this is something they sorely need. If this doesn't happen, we actually might see a possible 3-1, much like how everyone has predicted.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far just yet, but I think my worries are being seen for RRQ in this scenario, right? The defensive side on this map, you know, when they're trying to gather the early A main information, for example, any team is seeing, well, they're putting 3 numbers there, let's just move it over towards a lean towards B, either through a B link split or all through main, because they do hang around a little bit too late. When you consider that Jemkin on this Yoru is also baited generally to rotate a little bit early, or he's playing then more retake towards this B site, it just plays in towards PaperX's hands more often than not in this sort of environment right now. So we really need to see some change-up affairs for RRQ on the back of that timeout there. Need to see.
Gua kira
2 rounds in a row, right?
Gua kira cuma BO3, ternyata 5.
Single mistake, and that could be the map.
Yeah.
Placing swarm grenade.
See what the beginning installments look like in this one at the moment towards the B site, where I say, right, RRQ gathering the A main control at the moment. You're either seeing PaperX there and leaving, knowing the numbers, or they're not there at the very beginning, they're over at B. And you have to see that cheated rotation from Jemkin come out nice and early. Great lurk to come out from Forsaken, smoking off where the alarm bot has generally been to slip into there unexpected.
He's been doing this all half. PaperX has been doing this. And it's unfortunate because you're just unable to read it. The lockdown now forces Jemkin's hand. He's looking for that frag against Forsaken, who is another Yoru player, but he gets spotted out because there is a flurry of utility out from the back as well. Some slight spacing now for RRQ.
Rough for something though if he sticks here. They're aware of this fact.
In with the nightfall as well as the dimensional drift. So you do mark Jemkin somewhat, but you mainly need to watch out for Halls as well as Spawn. In for it though. Something's traded positions with the team. RQ might not be aware. They are thinking to check, but the barrel, it just reveals all. A couple more kills and in towards Jemkin alongside Xfero.
Gravity well, already used.
And that just thins down the herd. Jemkin, though, another frag. He's marking down Pillar to the best of his ability. Sticking down the spike to halfway now. The pressure is on. Something looking for the kills. The time continues to beep, and that's when the shorty gets pulled out. But the shots, they've whiffed. And it's Xfero sticking it in all the way through. Down to the final 0.3 second. RRQ finds a lifeline.
Literally the difference for something there with the shorty missing those shots, getting immediately on towards the defuse. You've got to feel heartbreak for a situation that you thought RRQ were not going to win. They lose the first duel with a great heads-up change of pace from Forsaken. Jemkin doing what he can with the 4K. He's needed to deliver nearly everything, but Xfero gets the last one. And they know it's not over yet. They know that they have to switch their focus to the next round because they need more in consecutive affair.
Job's not done. They're pushing up A main. Petman's contending for that spot on the other side of the smoke. Couple of sprays through, and RRQ just trying to regain control. PaperX, they might have gone for the quick W gaming down Art, but is it going to be enough? Because Petman has been sussed out. Got a blaze wall. You've got the sight. You might be able to stick the spike.
Yeah, but how do you defend it at the moment? Sting is close. Okay.
Oh, it's not going to quite work out the way that they wanted it to. Jemkin with the spams. You got the Suns out the back as well. Cushy, another kill. Jing, though, trying to hold down to the best of his ability from the back site. Unfortunately, he's going to be the only one left now, so it's just full on spams. Monyet, how do you like them apples?
Oh. Good round from RRQ. Needed here. A lighter investment from PaperX. Double digits now for RRQ. Talk about the fact that I said they need 2 rounds in a row. They've done just that. Is that enough, though, to give them an idea on what they need to be doing in the early stages? Because here, right, it's a quick one up from PaperX. It's recognizing that they've got control of main. They've got control towards their spawn. They can have a multi-pronged retake coming in towards that one.
And that's why main control is beginning to be a bit of a pesky issue.
The thing is, though, look at all the defensive rounds they've got. Like 4 retake defuses, right? Challenge over
Langsung
towards B.
pada
Nice and
dibarbarin,
early.
eh.
Different look. No A main control. But a similar look towards the actual smokes utilized now. An entrapment towards B long. Great opening engagements. Jemkin, Monyet, their job is done. They can fall back.
That's all they needed. What a call by Crazy Guy, or just the entire team as a whole. Just as soon as the round rips off. A clone towards the back as well, and PaperX won't deal with it.
Could you imagine if that clone was real?
Oh my
Gets
God.
pinged, turns around.
Well, not the case.
Gonna have to see what Forsaken can potentially do here. What gap can he find? You've already seen a change up of Kushi's utility as well, right? Being protected.
But it's just singular movement, singular audible cues, which means RQ are fully aware.
They're just not phased, right? 5 versus 3. If PaperX continue to this B site, well, we've got numbers. We'll just trade you.
Nah, ini
They're
Forsaken nih
just holding
kuncinya
the
nih.
angles now. Forsaken though,
Dapat ya dia.
snuck all the way through the back. If the timing is right, he might be able to find a bit more. Down for the flicks, he
Wah.
gets the first, but fully blinded now. Able to dodge the flash, but not able to re-peek.
bagus.
Xphero just
Tidak
puts up
mati,
a
tidak
huge
mati.
wall, and
Lepas.
Spetman running for his life.
Yeah, he couldn't get in towards the site to help him there, unfortunately, and
Baru
catch him
kecolek
when their
sepuluh itu
heads
udah.
are on their shoulders, swiveling all around. Now you got to put a priority on saving this Vandal to the next round. Tied scoreline 11-11 at the nth hour of this map. Feels like RRQ might have found the right recipe for this defensive side in a book hidden deep in that shelf.
RRQ watching this entire map with intent, putting up a strong stand. Map 3 might give them that confidence that they're looking for into map 4. PaperX certainly feeling the pressure once again now that the lead has been lost. I mean,
I just highlight, I love the play that they come up with for B long as well, right? Just
expecting PaperX to go in for B.
And if they're not there, you've just got the full space and you know it's A. You've got your mollies still set up towards the site. You might even play retake. You've been pretty successful in doing that so far, right?
And that's why I love this scene as well. You got both coaches in the booths, and it looks like a true chess match between both masterminds. Alex, though, trying his darndest to possibly steer the ship in the right direction, because the boys haven't yet been able to crack the code around A main.
Yeah, for a little bit now. RRQ, more importantly, I think, have just looked better, right? We've seen RRQ not have ideas on this defensive side, and PaperX have kind of exploited that time and time again. You know, just commanding that A main control. PaperX were real happy enough to give it to them and put more focus in towards the B side of the map now. Well, you're not even seeing RRQ really contend with A main control anymore. They're just doing the smoke only. They're not putting the salvos behind it, right? And they're still coming up with the same look, missing one
Ya,
piece of utility.
enak sih udah pasti, Bang.
It's down to all these tiny little
Itu bangkunya sama
details and
PC itu
margins.
mahalan
Are PaperX
bangku.
able to
Sama bang.
get a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, this sort of scenario as well, right? Is
Dapat
PaperX really
5 cok
playing
PC ku, Cok.
towards more of a default or not, right? You're a little bit lesser equipped. You don't have the Blade Storm, for example, for something. You do have Jing 1 away from the run it back yet again. But I'm seeing, you know, Jemkin with the Dimensional Drift and a Judge in mid-doors.
Oh, and it just does its thing. The Prowler was there for
Look,
check as
yeah.
well, but Monyet, a trigger quicker,
Monyet.
and it's going to be
Monyet.
PaperX reeling from the loss of that one.
And again, just the same utility over at main bar, the salvos, right? A deeper nebula, you force your opponents to respect that one. Now you get the information by the alarm bot that, well, we need to adjust a little bit. Play retake again if we need. We've got a Dimensional Drift to scope that one out.
The one slight light at the end of the tunnel that I can see for PaperX is if Jing finds a run it back into further space being taken up for the team. They're going to opt for the Cosmic Divide to block off back sight.
Good timing.
Nano Swarms.
Yeah, good timing. It'll just waste the time on this Cosmic Divide. Start to go for the plant. Ooh, got him.
And that's done. A perfect skull executed wallbang kill. Secondary plant attempt, and something sticks it. Will it be enough though? PaperX has yet to hold a post plant. Something then opting to go around stairs. He does have support from Patman in this area. A seize would be great as well, but it's the Guardian. I don't know how it's going to be. Divide with a possible spam out from, well, A main, but still the shots, the Dimensional Drift, it susses out all. Intelligence has been found, and RRQ will take another round.
More importantly, they're going to take map point here. That means that they, on this map, for pretty much the first time since the very beginning stages of the first half, will reclaim the lead.
Match point.
Match point, Paper X falling a little bit flat now. Getting taken out by the judge, getting taken by the spams, not able to off-put Cushy's position. Makes it really awkward in the 5 versus 3 when you just try to get a plant, and all the information from that dimensional drift as well, working a treat.
And it's just brilliant calls from RQ, recognizing the job's not done, I have to lock in, you bring out the judge all of a sudden, Paper X has no idea.
And it gets scary now as well, right? When you consider the Armageddon is in play for Crazy Guy. If that's put at the right spot, that could be massive. Back towards normalcy for RRQ, pushing forward to get Monyet on the overdrive. Meanwhile, Jing up with the runner back. The team is within 2 and they're stuck in the Armageddon.
In for the relay bolt as well, and it's RRQ finding advantage. Davai, though, trades it right back up, but there's a lockdown at his feet. He needs to push up. He needs to go in for it. Jing finds that. Some assistance being afforded now as Spike somewhat gets retrieved. Patman declare it backside.
3 versus 3. Davai alive, so smokes for Paper X. Timing for Patman. This could be everything but Crazy Guy on the drone. He was contemplating it right now. That's a massive duel for Patman to win.
Popped up over, looks for the flick, but it's Shimkin that comes up with it instead. 4 HP though. How long Paper X might be able to push us into overtime. Jing now with the space. You've got an op being played by Davai as well. It's a position that surely RRQ doesn't expect, so they will continue to march forward. Offside, past Flowers. Jing marks the angle, has a flash, has a molly as well. How on earth can Cushy possibly play this? He goes into check, almost losing his life, and it's Jing swinging off of contact to push us into overtime again!
Could have been extremely awkward if Jing wasn't able to find that trade at the end there on the 2 versus 2 because he dispatched of Jemkin, who was really low. A brilliant Armageddon early on as well. I gotta give props towards Crazy Guy for that location. Really trying to assist the team from afar. But in the middle of the 3 versus 3, just trades upon trades. The hot hands try and force him to not push. And you do get the eventual trade there as Jing.
And it's Petman seizing the initiative to sneak up through Flower as well. It's just to surprise Crazy Guy.
I mean, if that duel goes the other way, that's probably the map.
Exactly. I mean, if you're playing by the book, but Petman doesn't do that. So
another overtime.
OT1, here we go again. Pressure mounting. I hear the kettle whistling. And both teams, both sides are feeling this. We kick things off with RRQ, slow march up B.
Oh, you say slow, but they're pretty fast in towards this one, aren't they? 4 members again from Paper X, going back to tried and tested, gather the orb, gather the A main control, play on the stalling utility that Forsaken has down, and he's actually got a judge, expecting a bit of a play, but it's a similar utility. Salvos, Nova Pulse, trap you here.
He's just played DDR, he's dodged everything. Meanwhile, the rest of the team from Paper X slowly coming up front from mid. They gotta watch out for the flank. Monyet will be able to slay all of them down. Cushy with the flank now coming through. And it's just Petman able to find one trade. Cushy might have been dealt with, but how do you lead, spearhead a 2v4? The first thing you gotta deal with would be Halls, but that's Monyet with a judge. He fires off a warning shot. Petman tries to go out from the back. Attention has been bought. But then the spams out from Pillar. You've got Jemkin all the way towards the back as well. And he uses that elevation to bring this to a 3v1 Davai. Not
Ya, putus ka internet gua.
Dari sananya berarti, Bang.
They looked a little bit down for the count, coming out with different ideas, losing the last, but back towards the OT, quick towards the B site, establishing a plant with sheer numbers. Cushy delivering the goods as well, making sure that the numbers were found. He's on 30 kills now. He's absolutely stepped up in this map.
Yeah, I mean, since when have you expected Cushy to go in for that lurk? All of a sudden he brings it out. This time, RQ on the defense. They've done this good so far. Can they complete the run? Paper X, patience all of a sudden.
How long do you leave something for here as well, right? You're waiting out for the Nebula over at A main before going together as a team.
Might not expect the glass cannon op either.
Did the drone spot 2 members? It's keeping a heavy investment of numbers for RQ towards the A site. And an operator, remember here for Jemkin 2. Something to note of the glass cannon.
Timing banget.
Pas lagi nyeker anjing.
With the timing, the pathing.
He's actually, yes, the pathing precisely.
But it might work problematic for the team.
Mati yang belakang
Yeah.
department ya.
He's just gonna dry walk into
You
it.
gotta be aware, but no! The dry walk and the damage is felt.
Mati lah,
Something
gitu.
tries to re-peek into it.
You've got 4 smokes as Divide, and you're double dry walking into an operator line at the B site.
Oh, not like this.
5 versus 3. RRQ setting themselves up for the map
30 seconds.
in another overtime fashion.
They had no idea the op was there, but when it was needed most,
Cushy.
Jemkin, Cushy, up to the 30 bomb, and this could be the end of Pearl. Paper Rex desperately trying to hold on, Forsaken needing a huge multi-kill, but it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
RRQ will find the eliminations necessary to
Ah,
propel
kecewa
themselves
kuat
forward.
hati.
Another OT, and they show that they have the true resistance, the true endurance to go the distance.
They don't do it cleanly, do they? But they will not go.
Makan. Thank you.